aujourd'hui, on a marqué dans l'Olympique, il y a l'Olympique qui a le feu. Monsieur Gagné Najor, the juice of the umpire, Mr. Valero, the juice of the judge, Mr. Scary, against Williams, the juice of the judge, Somalia, juice of the judge, Ryan Stark, juice of the Weissman, Regina Paul, and Alexander Woody, juice of the judge, Daniel Walton, Nico Harris, the supervisor, Ken Johnson, Dave Holland, Bob Cousins, Tom Cesari, Joseph Conway. Et bien sûr, Tito, Philippe Marcelo, les Seychelles sont venus donner des Seychelles de Camille après la vie de Seychelles. Les Polo, les Jean Molo, cette ligue de Vincent. Valero, la dirigeante de la Maxime de Pélaquet. On reste équipe pour le temps de classe. Alors là, mesdames et messieurs, vos capitales de deuxième siècle. Vous avez remarqué, parmi l'équipe de l'Est, parmi les capitaines, le numéro 4 intérieur du joueur Valero. Merci Madame Pélaquet. Messieurs Constantin et Gaillon. Mesdames et messieurs, il est temps pour l'interprétation de l'hymne national de l'Église Rise. Pour le national anthem, va être interprété aujourd'hui par M. Robert Fournier. Au Canada, terre de nos aïeux, ton front est saint, le fleuve
Rouge et Or, veut pas. On est ici au stade du Rouge et Or, alors plusieurs joueurs qui seront scrutés intensément, notamment le carrière numéro 4, Hugo Richard, autre bon joueur, Charles-Antoine, qui a eu droit à une magnifique semaine d'activité, le numéro
19, porteur de ballon, Lavallois, Christopher Amois. Un joueur à surveiller, un des meilleurs athlètes sur le terrain aujourd'hui. Il a dominé les tests physiques. Maintenant, son petit problème en saison régulière a été d'un point de vue de gestion de la pression et aussi la protection du ballon. Deux éléments qu'il pourra confirmer ou présenter aux différents dépisteurs professionnels.
And we are ready for the
Number 19, number 80, this one Waterloo with the ball and the return. That's how that we use it and I think we'll give it. I think they got the captain, first and 10, from the 24-yard line.
in the backfield, pistol position, play action. There's it on the right side. The guy is open right there.
Pass is incomplete.
But overthrown at that 1 second there.
Second around. The catcher. The intended receiver. We take it at 10 for the Western team.
Started with meetings and then, like we said, tried to implement a playbook as we went along. However, the cohesion obviously takes a lot more than 4 days to install.
2nd and 10, Picton, looking left, drills it in the middle, almost intercepted.
And that's interesting. The receiver right there was a Laval player, and it's important to specify that number 21, Etienne Moisan, is playing on the West team. There was a lack determined by some injuries that allowed him to find a position, find a spot on the Western team. All the other Rouge et Or players will be on the East squad today.
So it's going to be a 2 and out for the West offense early in this game.
2 returners are trying to cover the vast width of the field.
Lining punt from Gabriel Ferraro. Good movement here by Vieira, who gets 5 more yards, and they're going to start their drive close to midfield.
There's only 2 kickers who are dressed for today's game, 1 on each side, and they'll see a bunch of kicks. But at the same time, it's a great opportunity for them to showcase their talent, not only in terms of power, but we want to see a bit more accuracy, a bit more hang time. That punt was a bit too low for my own liking.
So Nate Hobbs is going to take the start at QB. Hand off to Amoa, who gets 6 yards, but there's a flag on the play.
Yeah, I think it'll be on the offense. One of the offensive line player cut a defender below the waist as he was moving laterally. With all the injuries that have happened recently, of course we talk a lot about head injuries, but we also want to protect the knees. So that's what's been called on the field. Legal cut block below the waist. So we should be repeating first down. I think it will be 2nd down.
Yep, there's a loss of downs there as well, so they say 2nd down and long for Nate Hobbs. Still waiting for the first offensive gain of the day.
It's interesting because the West squad decided to go with their all-star QB, Noah Picton, to begin the game. For the East side, Hugo Richard will probably be playing later today. It's Hobbs from Queens right now.
Hobbs looking left, looking deep. Overthrown right there over a Tyron Pierre head. And it's going to be a 3 and out as well for the East offense.
We talked about cohesion, about being on the same page. Here it was man-to-man coverage with 2 inside breaking routes. Tyron Pierre, the receiver from Laval, had created enough separation. But again, usually a receiver and quarterback will be working together hours and hours during the offseason to find the same rhythm so that the quarterback can anticipate the break of the receiver. Here, the ball was thrown above Pierre's head, even though he was open.
Bishop's kicker, Vincent Dubé, will take that punt. Beautiful place just next to the sideline. On the return, it was number 15, Robbie Yochim, but no place to go. A small gain. And they're going to start that one at their own 40. So right now, it's more of a defensive game.
It's always the same thing. Like, we're talking about putting athletes in position to make plays, which is a lot easier when you, like I said, only have 4 days. Defensively, even though there's a bunch of schemes, you want them to play fast. Whereas on offense, everyone has to be on the same page to produce offensively.
End up down the middle, and there's a great opening there for Tyler Chow, and he keeps going again of at least 22 yards.
Tyler Chow from Saskatchewan, one of the best running back in the country, was an All-Canadian this year. Over 800 yards, 7 rushing touchdown. And what I liked was his north-south approach. He didn't hesitate. He made his decision and assumed it, and he managed to get really quickly in the second level of the defense.
Now in the East territory. Play action, swing pass to the left for Mitch Kernick. You will get the first down there, just enough, but there's a late flag on the play.
Really like that offensive strategy. It's with an H-back, like an hybrid position between tight end, fullback. But the guy himself, number 8, Kernick, is a receiver, but a bigger receiver. Over 200 pounds, got hidden behind the offensive line. However, the offensive team will be penalized. We'll be repeating that down.
So I believe they say it's a holding after the catch. So it's going to be second down. And 15. Noah Picton receiving the calls from offensive coordinator Ryan Sheehan.
He said received comparison to Benoit Groux mainly for his physical build, only 5'9" for a quarterback.
Picton under pressure. Will fire one to Chow. Huge tackle there. One player even lost his helmet, but it's going to be short from the first down line.
Tyler Chow is a small but heavy back. He was the third or fourth option from Picton. Understood the situation, didn't want to take too many risk because it was second and very long. Kept his team in good position. I understand that they'll be punting, but at the same time, you talked about a defensive struggle. You want to keep advantage over the field position, and that's what the Western squad, has right now.
Guelph's kicker Gabriel Ferraro will try to pin them down right next to their own end zone. Beautiful kick. VR will field it. No place to go.
That's a textbook kick right now by the punter. Put the ball really close, to the sideline. Gave no leeway to the returner. We talked about flipping the field, managing field position. That's exactly what the West team did right there.
And good job from the special teams as well. We're able to get the tackle and not get a penalty at the same time. We're not too close from the ball at the end. So Nate Hobbs will start this one at his own 8-yard line.
I was just going to say, expect a bunch of Christopher Amoa in that position.
Hobbs will take it. Beautiful play on defense. Robbie Yochim
made an excellent play right there. It was inside breaking route on the wide side. Obviously, it takes a while for the ball to get there. So if I'm not mistaken, it was Guillaume Paquette, the receiver from the Carabin Université de Montréal, created enough separation, but the DB was quick enough to get around the receiver, put his hand in the direction of the ball without making too much of a contact with the receiver.
On second down, 5 wide receivers for Hobbs. Rolling a bit to his right. Under pressure, in trouble. Hobbs will fire one. Dufault's got it, but he's be brought down and out of bounds short of the first down.
What I like about Picton, even though that pass was not sufficient for the first down, is that he's not necessarily a runner first, but he'll be able to move while keeping his head. I said Picton. It's Nate Hobbs from Queens. Keeps his eyes downfield. So on that play, he didn't like his first, second, or third option. Managed to gain some time, got out of the pocket, and got some yards, which might allow the East team to punt.
And they will, but it's not a big one from Vincent Dubé. He'll bounce just in front of Mitch Koenig, will gain a few yards, and the West offense will start their third drive in a really good position.
I don't mean to repeat myself, but I mentioned the importance of flipping the field, and that happens when you have sufficient success on offense, where you can move the ball with not necessarily with putting points on the board, but being in good position to flip the field. Like I said, the kicker, Vincent Dubé on the East squad has been brutal. Let's put it this way. He needs to get better. It's a huge showcase opportunity, and so far the Western kicker is beating him easily.
Picton will start this drive at the 31-yard line. Hand off right down the middle. Some movement, early movement. Short gain and a flag. Was one of the receiver moving past the line of scrimmage too early? It's on defense. They're going to gain 5 yards. It's going to be 1st and 5.
Perfect position for a money shot here. We got the momentum on offense. There hasn't been any big play, but we just gained 5 yards automatically. 1st and 5, I wouldn't mind taking a deep opportunity to one of the receiver on the strong side of the field.
Here's Simon on the left side. Cannot turn around this defensive pressure from Nelkis Cuemo.
I guess I might be a bit too greedy here, but at the same time, I don't want to see athletes making some big plays. But I also understand that it's a defensive struggle. You want to implement your playbook early, so they're keeping it, I guess, more moderate. It was a nice run, but I really, really like the movement on the Eastern squad, and that's one of the strengths of the team. Their D-line is really mobile, really athletic. They'll be a force to be reckoned with today.
Four-man rush. Picton delivers right in the middle. Etienne Moisan was there, and it's good for a 1st down.
A smart decision by Picton, and at the same time, Moisan saw the exact same thing as his quarterback. It was an underneath route. He had the option of stopping if it was zone coverage or keep going if it was man-to-man. We saw here that there was an opening between the linebackers, confirming the zone defense. He took what the defense gave him and got a 1st down.
Now in the red zone, Picton. Right to Simon. But he'll be stopped real quickly by Adam Kunitz, middle linebacker from St. FX.
There's only 2 running backs on the Western offense. Tyler Chow and Atlee Simon both have already carried the ball. And if you look on the other side, there is 7 running backs or fullbacks for the Eastern team. It's a position that more and more CFL teams are looking at north of the border, but it's pretty surprising to see only 2 on the west side.
On 2nd and 8, it's Picton. Beautiful throw, and it's going to be a 1st down, and there's a flag after a play, so they're going to be even closer from the end zone.
Yeah, I think the defender grabbed either the face mask or had an eye tackle there, so they'll, like you said, they'll add on yardage after the catch. Really, really great timing pattern right there. The ball was out of the QB's hands. Picton, before the receiver had terminated his route, so as soon as he turned around, only had to catch the ball and keep his feet in bounds.
It was a beautiful out pattern from Will Watson, UBC wide receiver. 1st and goal. Picton with Simon in the backfield. High snap. It's Simon, but he is stopped, and it's a loose ball. East is saying that it's their ball, and it is. A key moment for the East defense.
There was some unbelievable penetration at the middle of the defensive line. I missed the number of the defender, but there was so much pressure when the quarterback ended the ball, and that messed up the whole timing. The running back had to stop even before protecting the ball. What a defensive play by the middle of that D-line.
It was again Adam Kuntz, middle linebacker, on that rush, that middle blitz. He took control of that center.
Adam Kuntz from St. FX was the second leading tackler in the Est-Ouest, the Maritimes Conference, was 45.5 tackle this year.
Here's Amoa, and a huge tackle by Boston Rowe.
And Amoa knows Rowe pretty well because it was a Laval player on offense versus a Calgary defender, reminiscent of the last Vanier Cup. Boston Rowe is an excellent outside linebacker. I would say an hybrid player. We know that with the passing game being more and more present, usually the strong side linebacker will be an hybrid player who can defend the ground game, but it can also drop in coverage. That's exactly what Rowe will bring to a professional football team in 2 years.
So it's a loss of 2 yards for Amoa. 2nd and 12. Hobbs under pressure. He is brought down, but outside of his end zone, so there's no safety there. There's going to be a 3rd and deep.
Oh, I didn't really like Hobbs' pocket presence there. I like that he's patient. However, when you have your heels in your own end zone, you need to make a quicker decision. It didn't cost him too much here, but they kind of canceled out that turnover. They weren't able to generate any offense following that huge defensive play.
And in that position, Vincent Dubé will likely give some points to the West squad, yes. And there you go. Knee on the ground. And the first points belongs to the West team. Two points is not the same as 7, and they were so close on 1st and goal at the 1 yard line. That fumble in the end is a bit costly. Not a lot to show from the East offense at the moment.
I don't want to say disappointing. It's probably disappointing for the coaches, but at the same time, it's not a big worry. Like I said, there's a lot of time remaining, and it's so hard to make that transition from practicing with a bunch of new players, a bunch of new coaches, and not only different coaches, different offensive and defensive concept, also different terminology. What someone will call a drag at Western might be called a mesh at McGill, and vice versa. There is so many different terms, so everyone has to get on the same page, and that will take at least 2 or 3 days. Yep. And they were here on Monday only, so it's a short week. We'll see communication, cohesion, and effectiveness get settled as we move along.
Richmond Nekatia will bring this back under pressure and will only gain a few yards. A beautiful play on the special teams by Alexandre Renaud from the Concordia Stingers.
I really like Alexandre Renaud. I talk a lot about hybrid players, but it's a new trend in Canadian football. In the last 4 or 5 years, we've seen a lot more, for instance, DBs or players who were DBs in college become linebackers at the university level. Bigger receiver become H-backs. You want to have as many opportunities as you want at the pro level, and showing that you can perform at different positions will only benefit your case.
Bigton still at quarterback. Here's Simon. Got some good blocks. He's going to gain 4 yards on this outside run.
Mathieu Breton, the defensive lineman from Bishop, made a heck of a play. And watch number 99 today. Not only because he's a good, talented, and mobile defender, also because he's 6'8", 275 pounds. Great size, but at the same time, you want to evaluate, can he play low? When you're in the trenches, you have to be able to lower your pad level, and obviously at 6'8", it's a challenge on every play.
2nd and 6. Bigton down the middle. Beautiful catch. Even with that Nilkas Quemo hard hit, and it's going to be good for a first down.
Every pocket quarterback who wants to have success needs to have decent and efficient footwork. And that's exactly what we're seeing from Picton. You're wondering how a 5'9" quarterback can be statistically the best player in the nation. It's by having decent pocket awareness and movement. That's exactly what Picton showed there, and he gained another first down.
Picton with time, well protected, will try to run it, only gain a yard.
There's always a direct connection between coverage and pressure. There was not so much pressure there. There was a nice pocket for the quarterback, but the coverage was so tight, so narrow that the quarterback went to his first, second, and third read. Nothing was there. So it ended up being a really minimal gain, and all of that came from the DBs.
And that QB spy was really good as well. 2nd down and 8. Picton with time. Will roll on his right. Flag on the play. Will try to get it by himself. Will do it. 18 yards gain, but there's a flag.
It was the back judge who threw that flag, was following the quarterback closely. Holding on the offense. That's often what happens when a quarterback rolls, but even more when you don't necessarily know your teammates as well as in the regular season. If you know your quarterback has a quick tendency of escaping the pocket, you'll be more aware of your end positioning. And on that case, I think one of the O-linemen got caught cheating because his quarterback was outside.
It is a big difference if, let's say, one of these offensive linemen is not playing usually with a rolling quarterback or a speedy quarterback. It's a whole other system. 2nd and long for Picton.
Look for a screen or a draw here.
Like you just said it's a draw for Simon. Will gain 9 yards, and it's going to be a better position for a Gabriel Ferraro's punt.
Yeah, 2nd and a mile. You don't want to risk it. It's early in the game. Defensive struggle, as we mentioned. They went on the safe side, and like you said, talking about field positioning, when you're able to gain 10, 12 yards before punting, it can always be beneficial.
3:20 left in that first quarter.
One of the good punt returner in the Quebec Conference is on the field. Dufour, Anthony Dufour, the Rougeard receiver, is always dangerous with the ball in his hands.
Liner punt, and it's Dufour will try to get it back around midfield. A good gain of almost 10 yards. It's going to be a better position for the East quarterback, Nate Hobbs, who had to start the 2 previous drives, really back down into his own zone.
I was talking about Anthony Dufour. What a great story he is. Lost 50 pounds. 50 pounds. Previous to the last season, was sick, had health issues, gained that weight back, and it was an important contributor to that Vanier Cup squad from the Laval Rougeard.
Now in the backfield, it's Leonardo Mantuila from the St. Mary's Huskies. Play action. Quick screen on the left side. A dangerous throw, but a good catch from Guillaume Paquet.
They went with that screen, the jailbreak, call it what you want, the jet screen. You fake the handoff in the backfield, you come back to the receiver, so it's an hidden running play. The key is for the O-lineman to get to the linebackers, to get to the perimeter. Here they only missed one guy, Boston Rowe. Him again, that the Calgary linebacker was so fast to the tackle.
And that throw was just a bit up front. In the end, Paquet didn't have enough time to see if he had holes in front of him. 2nd and 4. Fake handoff, rolling right. And a good comeback there by Guillaume Paquet is going to be a first down.
Long developing route, not only because it's a comeback, coming back towards the sideline, but even more so when the play is on the strong side. We all know that the width of the Canadian field is pretty impressive, and I liked how he protected the catch. I like seeing receivers catch the ball with their hands. Here he opted to put his upper body in the lane to make sure the DB didn't have a play on the ball, and he gained a first down with it.
Seems like he's playing with a Saint FX helmet, but it is Guillaume Paquet from the Montreal Carabins. Down the middle, no place to go. Gain of 2 yards.
You talked about the helmets of the players. If you're not familiar with the East-West format, the players will come with their own helmet, but they'll be trading decals from other universities throughout the weeks. So the guys have 5, 6, 7 different logos on their helmet. It's part of the experience. You get to know guys from across the nation, and it's almost like a souvenir. You'll bring that helmet back. Mine is still in my house with the logos from Manitoba, Saskatchewan, UBC. It's part of the experience and the thrill.
On 2nd and 8, it's Hobbs with time. Dancing. Rushing on his left side. And will get just enough for the first down. Beautiful play from Nate Hobbs.
Not necessarily the fastest quarterback, but he knows when and how to run. He's actually the all-time leader at the position, at the quarterback position with the Queens Golden Gales. 506 career rushing yards, more than any other quarterback in that storied program.
So for the first time, the East offense is in the opponent zone. 30 seconds in that first quarter.
Too much time.
So they're going to drop back 5 yards.
Delay a game. That's part of it. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but it's worth mentioning that those things seem automatic in the regular season. Transferring the play from the coaches to the players, but it takes a bit more time when you develop this week only that communication system. The signals are limited, and it took too much time here for the East squad.
It's like a Pro Bowl, but
yeah,
an important Pro Bowl.
Exactly. That's a really good comparison.
Hobbs and Mantuila in the backfield, 1st and 15. Hobbs under pressure, rolling left, finds Pierre. And he's going to get at least half of these yards. It's going to be 2nd and 7.
I like what he does there. He's a good game manager, Hobbs from Queens. His primary reads were on the right side, on the strong side. He had a corner route and a hook concept on the outside. It's called a smash. Didn't like what he saw, and instead of panicking, instead of exiting his pocket, he just shuffled back to the left, knew he had a decent option, and Tyron Pierre understood the whole situation and adapted his route.
2nd and manageable now for Hobbs. Good protection again. Short pass to Bryce Vieira. It's not going to be enough for a first down, though.
We talked about him in pregame. Bryce Vieira, he's from Montreal, played at Vanier College, one of the good powerhouse in D1 at the CEGEP level. Was obviously interesting for a bunch of different universities. Undersized running back who decided to go to the GGs in Ottawa. He's an English-speaking player, found a niche there, and I liked how they've been using him. He was injured this year, missed some of those games, but he's a perfect hybrid player. Can be in the backfield, can come out last second, run some really good routes, and with the ball in his hands, one of the most explosive players on the field. You'll see him at returner as well today.
And that's the end of the first quarter with the West team leading that game 2-0. Charles-Antoine, ce match pour le moment est vraiment caractérisé par le manque de cohésion entre les deux équipes. C'était à prévoir cependant, vu que c'est des joueurs qui se connaissent à peine.
Tout à fait, et on s'étudie comme dans n'importe quel bon match de football. En même temps, on apprivoise aussi les systèmes de jeu. On a eu très peu de jours pour aller peaufiner et comprendre les systèmes des entraîneurs respectifs. Donc très peu d'erreurs, mais en même temps très peu de risques dans ce premier quart.
So it's going to be a 36-yard try for Vincent Dubé. Kick is up and good.
Et si je peux continuer rapidement en français, c'est un botté très important pour Vincent Dubé, qui a eu beaucoup de difficultés en début de match sur les bottées de dégagement. Un jeune des Gators de Bishop sera le seul à ce poste pendant le match. Il y a seulement un botteur en uniforme des deux côtés. La position de botteur en est une des plus challengeantes d'un point de vue psychologique. C'est un peu comme un gardien au hockey. On est seul dans son monde. Et si on a de la difficulté trop dans la rencontre, il faut être en mesure de faire abstraction de cette pression. Quoi de mieux qu'un placement en plein centre des poteaux pour rétablir son ego?
So at quarterback now for the West offense, it's going to be Kyle Siemens. Hand off to Tyler Chow. Quickly brought down on the left side, a gain of 4 yards.
Jackson Bennett, the linebacker on the play, was so quick. Read the outside breaking run play. Linebacker from Ottawa. Second team All-Star in the OUA this year. And what I like is that he's versatile. Started with the GGs at running back. In 2014, switched to defensive back, and he's now a linebacker.
On 2nd and 7, Siemens with time. Floats one right down the middle. Almost caught by Richmond Ektia.
A lot of pressure again in the backfield. This time from number 91, Rémi Deschamps, a Valero player who was really, really close to the West team quarterback, who managed to stay in the pocket but had to hurry his throw and didn't see there was a double coverage on the receiver that he was attempting to connect with.
Another 3 and out for the West offense, and here comes Gabriel Ferraro with a punt right on Anthony Dufour, and quickly
Jean-Gabriel Poulain was there. We mentioned him in the pregame show. The Western linebacker is a beast. He also played in Quebec in the CEGEP rank, the college. Just was flying to the returner and made a heck of a play.
And now in the game at quarterback for the East offense, number 4, Hugo Richard, hometown boy.
Donc, on décide d'y aller avec une option, et je vais faire le transfert en français, une option deuxième quart, quatrième quart pour Hugo Richard.
Play action. Pass is caught by Michael Nelson, and it's good for a first down.
Well, like I said, we'll be trying to go back and forth between French and English. We're not trying to confuse you, but we potentially have viewers from coast to coast. We're in Quebec City, so we'll be doing a bit of French commentary for the next little bit. Et là-dessus, ce qui est intéressant pour Hugo Richard, c'est qu'on le met en confiance rapidement. Petite feinte de jeu au sol, avait les deux yeux sur le secondaire et a vu que le tracé en crochet du côté court était une option intéressante. Donc, complétion relativement facile pour mettre le carrière dans sa zone.
Richard under pressure will be brought down, a sack. The first one of this game.
Il y avait une action de jeu au sol, mais le porteur de ballon, le numéro 34, avait tout un mandat, c'est-à-dire d'effectuer cette fin de jeu au sol et ensuite de bloquer. Donc Jordan Sukulochuk de Saint-FX a manqué le joueur défensif. C'est pourquoi Hugo Richard était sous pression si rapidement.
And the sack goes to the Danny Nesbitt stat line.
Danny Nesbitt, un secondaire, on y reviendra, mais lui, lorsqu'il a terminé l'école secondaire, a passé bien près de venir étudier ici avec le Rouge-et-Or, même s'il provient de la Saskatchewan, finalement a décidé de demeurer chez lui.
2nd and 13, but timeout. On the east side, it seems finally the referees were a bit unsure of that call.
Et je reviens à Nesbitt, le secondaire numéro 47 de l'équipe Ouest, en fait. Je vous parlais de sa connexion avec l'équipe du Rouge-et-Or. C'est qu'il avait été si performant pour l'équipe de la Saskatchewan lors de la Coupe Canada, le championnat canadien. Et l'entraîneur de l'équipe québécoise était Brad Collinson à l'époque, qui, jusqu'à tout récemment, était entraîneur avec le Rouge-et-Or. Il avait trouvé tellement dominant au championnat canadien qu'il avait réussi à le convaincre, à tout le moins, de venir visiter les installations. Évidemment, lorsqu'on amène un jeune prospect ici, à l'Université Laval, c'est extrêmement tentant, mais finalement, il y a une grande fierté en Saskatchewan et a décidé de rester chez lui, comme je mentionnais, avec l'Université Regina.
So still 2nd and long for the East offense. For the moment, the key player on that West defense is, without a doubt, number 24, Boston Rowe. 3 tackles, 1 tackle for a loss, and it was a huge one.
Another 2nd and really, really long. You absolutely want to avoid a sack or a turnover here. You want to keep managing the game.
Richard, under pressure, escapes it, floats one. It's a bit too high for his teammate Anthony Dufour. And sadly, it's going to be a 3rd down.
Talked about pressure here. Number 99, Matthews Coco from York, was in the backfield really quickly. Or was it number 98? My apologies. Matt Kotsum from Saskatchewan. That's what Richard does best. Keeps his eye at the second level. Missed touch here. And it's a bit surprising. I understand he just got into the game, but the receiver there was his teammate with the Laval Rougeard, Anthony Dufour.
A good, real good punt from Vincent Dubé. And it's going to get them some points. Well, that was a good one.
It was almost too good because the length, the height was perfect. He probably would have hoped for the ball to bounce out of bounds on, inside the 5-yard line. But see, earlier we saw really below average punting from Dubé. Got his field goal, and he just kicked the best ball he's kicked today.
Yeah, a rough first quarter for him, but a 36-yarder on the opening of the second quarter, and then that booming punt will get them 1 point. It's now 4-2 for the East squad. And Siemens and his offense will start that at their own 35.
There's an injured player by the end zone here. That's why we're taking a bit of time to put the ball back into play. It's number 15, Roby Yochim, defensive back from McMaster, will be going back to his bench soon.
So Siemens had a rough start on his first drive. Now he's back at the quarterback position. 1st and 10. Hand off down the middle, and there's a good opening for Tyler Chow. A good gain of 18 yards.
Talked about him earlier, Tyler Chow from Saskatchewan, 5'10", 190 pounds. And it's interesting because he's from Calgary, Alberta, but opted for Saskatchewan. There is so much pride, and with good reason, in those two provinces. A lot of the Alberta-born player will remain with the Dinos. Mainly, there's also the Alberta's Golden Bear, and vice versa. It's really rare to see a player from one of those provinces go elsewhere at the university level.
So Tyler Chow for today, it's 2 rushes, 45 yards of gain. He's again in the backfield. Siemens just in front of him. Chow again on the left side. Good blocking, breaks a tackle, and much, much more. Another long gain for the number 5 of the West squad. 17 yards that time, Tyler Chow.
We'll be going back to French for a bit. La ligne défensive de l'équipe des Rouges, l'équipe de l'Est, se fait malmener. On avait dit d'elle qu'elle est extrêmement athlétique, et c'est le cas. Malheureusement, on a beaucoup de difficultés à percer les corridors de bloc de l'équipe de l'Ouest. Les joueurs de ligne offensive en ce moment qui dominent le point d'engagement, énormément de mouvements offensifs.
Chow is doing great, but that offensive line is doing even better. 1st and 10 in the West zone. A good throw on the left sideline, but a drop ball there.
McMaster receiver, yeah, Dan Peterman, and he's really efficient player. He's really good. Was the OUA Rookie of the Year in his first season. But we talked a lot more about one of his teammates, Danny Vandervoort, who just got drafted last week. So he's very talented, but maybe didn't receive as much attention as he deserved.
On 2nd and 10, it's Siemens. Flag on the play. Short pass, overthrown. And we'll wait to see on which side his penalty is. So it is on the offense. It's going to be a 3rd down.
There's no excuses for an offensive offside. There's one thing you have that the defense doesn't have, and it's the snap count. I understand it's a different cadence from the quarterback than what you're used to, but keep your inside eye on the ball. Be sure you don't commit dumb penalties. That's what you're being evaluated on. Your knowledge of the game, your athleticism, but also your ability to understand different situations.
We're a bit too far for Gabriel Ferraro's leg. It's going to be a punt. Aiming for the left sidelines. Dufour will field it. And he's brought out at the 3-yard line. A late tackle, but no flag on the play.
And to be fair, I'm a little surprised that Dufour caught that ball. He was inside the end zone. He could have let it bounce. It would probably would have rolled out of the end zone. Instead, they get a decent field position. And my apologies. I thought the ref judged that he was at the 3-yard line, but they decided that he caught the ball inside the end zone and ran it back. automatically the ball will be placed on the 20-yard line. So all my apologies to Dufault. He made the right call there.
So Hugo Richard is there in the backfield. Will air this one right on the right side. Too long for Smelly.
Smelly, receveur athlétique de Bishop. Mais quelle couverture du demi de coin de l'équipe de l'Ouest, le numéro 3. Je crois qu'on a eu un changement de numéro puisque c'était William Maxwell sur l'alignement qui avait le numéro 3.
So it's 2nd and 10 for Richard, who is looking for his first completion of the day. Three receivers on his left. Four-man rush. Richard zings one, and it is intercepted. Jaden McCoy, and he's looking for blockers. Finds a hole. McCoy brought down at the 2-yard line.
Read that play perfectly. Undercut that route. Yes, it took a bit of time for Richard to process the play and to make his decision, but what an athletic performance by Jaden McCoy. Like I said, went under, caught the ball, and came really, really close to scoring 6 for his team.
Manitoba Bison's defensive back with the huge play there and a beautiful position for Kyle Siemens.
Et depuis le début du match, les attaques n'ont pas été en mesure de concrétiser sur les jeux défensifs de leur équipe respective. On est en excellente position en ce moment pour l'Ouest.
Bad snap there, and Siemens will just fall on the ball. So again, that West offense not able to take that good position and turn it into a touchdown. There's still going to be a 2nd down, but it's going to be a 2nd and 15.
Ce n'est pas une excuse, bien évidemment, puisque la remise doit être précise. Mais en même temps, les deux carrières de l'équipe de l'Ouest sont très petits, considérant leur poste de carrière. On parlait de Noah Picton à 5 pieds 9. En ce moment, Carl Seaman, le carrière de Saskatchewan, fait seulement 5 pieds 10 pouces. On aurait eu besoin de 2 ou 3 pouces de plus pour capter cette remise.
15 yards to the end zone. Siemens under pressure. That ball is caught for the touchdown.
There's a flag on the play, but will be on the defense for roughing the quarterback. There was a low hit on the quarterback as he threw that ball. But what a catch on the inside breaking route. Really tough to confirm that catch, but both forearms were under the ball. No doubt to the referee, showed him that he had the ball. Superb catch right there by Will Watson, the UBC receiver.
That ball was a bit underthrown, but Will Watson with the wonderful adjustment is the first touchdown of the day. And it goes to that UBC receiver. Gabriel Ferraro will try to add one more point. It's going to be from the 12-yard line here. Flags on the play. And the kick was good.
And to come back to that great touchdown catch, Will Watson, what an impressive receiver. And I talked about Peterman, the McMaster receiver, who doesn't get all the hype he deserves because he was playing with Danny Van Der Voort, who got drafted. It's similar for Watson. He was playing next to Alex Morrison, who the Alouettes drafted last week. Same thing with Marcus Davis, an unbelievable receiver. The UBC Air Squad is fantastic, and Will Watson was great here 2 years ago when UBC shocked the Carabins in the Vanier Cup final.
And what a game that was for the UBC Thunderbirds.
Yeah, unbelievable game. No one was expecting them. One of the biggest turnaround from one year to another for a university program. Blake Neal, who had done the same thing with St. Mary's, same thing with the Calgary Dinos, showed up at UBC and said, we'll make this contender year after year, and he did it in his first year. That was one of the great story in the recent year of U Sports football.
So that kickoff position will be a really good one for the West team, since there was that late flag on the touchdown pass. It was a roughing the passer call, so that kickoff will be made from the East zone at their own 45.
Usually in that instance, you would try a short kick, but in an all-star game, I'm not sure they're going to go after such an aggressive play. They'll go for the points.
And here is Mantuila, who will put his knee down, like you just said. Add more points on this scoreboard. It's now 10-4 for the West squad. We'll try to see a little bit more from Hugo Richard, who had a rough start. That's pretty much the same for all that East offense right now.
So when you have a quarterback who just threw an interception, you want to have him forget that play as fast as possible. And that's one of the biggest mental improvement Richard was able to make over his last season. So I'd like either a run play or even a screen or an high percentage play to put him back in his comfort zone.
Richard will keep it. Throw on the left. Almost dropped, but still caught by Tyrone Pierre. And it's going to be a gain of 6 yards.
Le cas où est-ce que là-dessus le receveur voit déjà sa feinte avant d'avoir capté le ballon. C'est une chose d'anticiper le mouvement défensif. Pierre l'avait bien fait là-dessus. Mais reste que en quittant le ballon des yeux pour justement identifier le joueur défensif, on risque énormément. Et là-dessus, s'en tire très bien puisqu'il a passé tout près d'échapper le ballon.
So make it a gain of 7 yards finally. 2nd and 3 yards to go for Richard. Ambersley in the backfield. There's Ambersley. Big tackle around the neck. It was a bit high, but there's no flag on the play. He is just shy of the first down. They're going to call it a first down finally by the tip of the nose.
So far, one of the positions that's been playing the best is the running backs. I like their decisiveness. They get the ball, they go north-south, they'll make a decision once the O-line has progressed downfield. That's exactly what the young running back did right there. Came through the line flying, and his momentum gave him that first down ultimately.
And it is a huge first down just for their self-confidence there. The E squad needs to gain a bit more yards. Play after play.
We'll be blitzing here.
Richard under pressure. Will fire one, and it's got by Paquet. Guillaume Paquet cuts on the left side. Still alive, Paquet down the sidelines. Here he goes, and a huge gain for the Montreal Carabin wide receiver.
Deux des joueurs les plus explosifs et athlétiques dans la conférence Québec. Hugo Richard, un carrière extrêmement athlétique. Il y avait de la pression à éviter celle-ci en gardant ses yeux au deuxième niveau. Guillaume Paquette, après l'attraper, est un des meilleurs au Canada. Souviens-toi, justement, ici, sa performance contre le Rouge et Or cette année, mais également contre QBC, il y a 2 ans, à la Coupe Vanier, a fait manquer le premier plaqué et on avait finalement besoin de cette dose d'énergie du côté de l'équipe de l'Est.
He had a similar play like you just said in here in Laval. Last season, a gain of 60 yards on a swing pass. Richard in the red zone. A little bit too much on the right of Michael Nelson. Was a bit open on the play.
Et Richard qui a tenté potentiellement là-dessus d'influencer la défense du côté large pour revenir à contre-courant avec un tracé intérieur. Mais le maraudeur qui était en quête de tête, c'est-à-dire qu'il voulait absolument aller frapper solidement, ça a passé bien près d'être un meurtre en règle sur le receveur, mais le ballon qui n'était pas précis, probablement une bonne chose pour l'attaque de l'Est.
2nd and goal. 3 receivers on the right of Richard. 2 on his left. Looking right, Richard floats it. End zone, drop ball.
Ouais, on parle d'un manque de communication, un manque de compréhension. Ce n'est jamais bon signe lorsqu'il y a 3 receveurs qui sont dans le même périmètre de 5 ou 6 verges là-dessus. Il y avait 3 tracés verticaux, mais il faut garder sa largeur, justement. Regarde comment c'est facile pour la défense. Tous les joueurs défensifs convergent. On était 4 contre 3 et dans un espace restreint. Donc là-dessus, clairement, un des receveurs n'avait pas fait la responsabilité qui lui avait été assignée.
And on that play, there was Tyrone Pierre in good position to catch that ball, but Bryce Vieira jumped just in front of him and actually break down that play. So it's going to be a 16-yard field goal. And it is a good one from Vincent Dubé, his 2nd field goal of the day. Add 3 more points to that East squad scoreboard. It's now 10-7 for the West team.
There's some things in sports, in football, that you don't measure. One of those is the ability to make the opponent pay. And when you don't have that cohesion, when you don't have that core, it's hard to generate that energy. What we've seen today is a bunch of big plays, either on the offensive or defensive side, but none of them had led to significant points. They're not able to capitalize after a big play, but that's obviously something that's harder to generate in an all-star game.
Missing a bit of that killer instinct.
Yep.
Kyle Siemens back on the field. Hand off down the middle to his running back, who will gain 8 yards on the play. Will bounce left and right for a good gain finally.
Atlee Simon de l'Université Regina, et c'est peut-être le plus grand porteur de ballon aujourd'hui sur le terrain, mais lui aussi a pris une bonne décision. Et j'adore voir les receveurs franchir le premier niveau à toute vitesse, de bonnes enjambées. On se met dans des situations favorables de deuxième et court. C'est exactement le cas là-dessus pour l'équipe de l'Ouest.
4 minutes left in that first half. A miscommunication, but still a big hole. And a huge gain from Atlee Simon. First down, and we are right at midfield.
Jeu de tirer là-dessus bien exécuté. Oui, un manque de communication. Évidemment, nos repères ne sont pas complètement installés, mais en même temps, j'ai aimé la patience du corps arrière. A invité les joueurs défensifs dans le champ arrière, créé un genre d'entonnoir et à la dernière seconde a remis le ballon au porteur de ballon pour un gain relativement facile puisque le premier niveau avait été laissé vacant.
Siemens with good protection, a long throw on the left side, but nobody's there. We're talking about miscommunication. There was a pretty big one right there on the wide receiver route.
Un tracé vertical, et il y en avait un autre court. Et je regarde du côté du numéro 18 des Blancs, Will Watson de UBC, qui semble dire à son carrière « Je me suis trompé ». Souvent, on permet, même si c'est une semaine d'étoiles, d'avoir un ajustement, c'est-à-dire avoir un tracé court qui peut devenir un tracé vertical en cas de défense de zone. Et je crois que là-dessus, Watson avait vu quelque chose et le carrière autre chose.
Siemens on 2nd and 10. Zings one right in the middle, and it's going to be good for a first down. Etienne Moisan with a beautiful catch on the ground.
Beaucoup de pression dans le champ arrière. Ousmane Guindo, ailier défensif de McGill, qui avait battu son couvreur, était tout près du corps du carrière, mais qui, comme c'est le cas depuis le début du match, a su profiter de sa pochette protectrice, a avancé. Et Moisan, qui un peu à la Will Watson, a fait un attrapé en tombant, en gardant ses deux avant-bras sous le ballon pour confirmer l'attrapé.
3 minutes left in the second quarter. Siemens now in the East territory. Siemens. Beautiful catch. And it's going to be a first down. Again, Will Watson.
Tracé en crochet demi-défensif qui avait les talons au poteau du premier essai. Donc, il y avait un coussin au bas de l'écran, vous voyez, d'une dizaine de verges. Watson qui a vendu le tracé vertical. Mais c'était plutôt un tracé en crochet. Le ballon a tardé à venir, mais Watson a fait un superbe attrapé en protégeant le ballon et est allé chercher la verge nécessaire en tombant vers l'avant après le catch.
Now at the 31-yard line. Siemens with Simon behind him. It's Simon right down the middle. And a gain of approximately 5, maybe 6 yards.
One of the strengths of the Western team has been their O-line. We talked about it earlier, but it's such a key position in football, obviously, but also at the CFL level. Every year, except this year, actually, we always see a bunch of big dudes being drafted early. It was one of the worst class for O-linemen, but it won't be a trend. Year after year, they seem to find good spots at the pro level.
On 2nd and 5, Siemens. Big throw for Watson. It is overthrown, and it's going to be 3rd down and 5.
Just talking about blocking here, the quarterback wasn't able to connect with the receiver, but there was an unbelievable, awesome block by his running back, Atlee Simon, in the backfield, and that's what we want to see at that position. Obviously, you need to be decisive. You need to be able to run the ball, catch the ball, but you also need to be a really good blocker. Again, football in general, running back is a key blocking position, but even more so at the CFL level, while you'll be more of a utility player, you need to show versatility, and he just did.
Ferraro will try to add 3 more points from the 34-yard line, and it is good. First field goal from Gabriel Ferraro, Guelph's kicker, and it's now 13-7 for the West squad.
And we see a bit more rhythm here from both sides, a bit more success on offense, some points on the board, 13-7. Year after year, they're low-scoring games, those East-West Shrine Bowl, not Shrine Bowl, I'm referring, that's the U.S. version of it, but the East-West Valero Bowl. It takes time. It takes time to get those offense going. You need to put the ball in your athletes' hands, and the teams are starting to do it more and more.
2 minutes, 12 seconds for Hugo Richard and his offense. Just enough time to get some points before halftime.
There's 4 Rougeard players on the field right now.
Fake and Huff. And it's a sack. Second time that Richard has been brought down today.
I said 4. There's actually 5 local players on the field. 5 guys from Laval University. 3 receivers were there. Gagnon-Brousseau, the receiver, Dufault, and Tyron Pierre. The quarterback was Hugo Richard, and Christopher Omoa was in the backfield. Donc, beaucoup de casques hors sur le terrain. 5 représentants de l'Université Laval en ce moment sur le terrain en attaque.
So it was a loss of 2 yards, 2nd and 12 from their own 33-yard line. We're under 2 minutes. There's a flag on the play. Pass for Tyron Pierre, who tried his best to catch that overthrown pass.
Il y avait un hors-jeu sur la séquence et je crois que ce sera simplement refusé puisque le hors-jeu était offensif. Et ça, c'est une situation qu'on a vue en début de saison lors de la dernière campagne universitaire. Manque de précision sur des tracés relativement faciles pour Hugo Richard. Ça fait 2 ou 3 fois et c'est régulièrement, ce qui est un peu absurde, en direction d'un de ses coéquipiers avec l'Université Laval. Et souvent, lorsqu'on manque de précision, c'est que le jeu de pied n'est pas adéquat. Donc, on ne peut pas rien prendre pour acquis. On doit revenir aux fondamentaux, revenir aux bases et retrouver ce haut taux de pourcentage qu'il a eu en fin de saison et tout au long de la semaine ici à Québec.
Liner punt from Dubé, and it is Kernick trying to return that one upfield. Gain a short yardage there. And West offense will have, again, just enough time to manage something out, Charles-Antoine.
It's game management right there for you. You can prove to the different teams that you're able, especially at the quarterback or receiver position, that you can take control of the game. There's a minute and 30 seconds left. Are you going to step out of bounds after a catch? Are you going to take the timeout if you see that you're about to lose too much time? This is intangibles that can make the difference.
It's Noah Picton, though, at the quarterback position. Strong throw and a beautiful catch from Étienne Moisin. A big gain right there on 1st and 10. It's for 19 yards.
Et c'est presque absurde de voir un des meilleurs joueurs pour l'équipe de l'Est, de l'Ouest plutôt, être un joueur du Rouge et Or. On vous le rappelle si vous venez de vous joindre à nous. Étienne Moisin, receveur du Rouge et Or, qui a trouvé une place à la dernière minute dans l'équipe de l'Ouest à cause de blessures. Il est en feu, a fait plusieurs attrapés spectaculaires, dont celui-ci.
Picton. Small throw. It was near the feet of his receiver, Richmond Nicotia.
Et ça, c'est une des passes qui semble les plus faciles à faire, mais qui est des plus complexes. Tracé court, qui s'éloigne du corps arrière et du côté opposé. Donc, Noah Picton est un droitier. Il était fin seul, le receveur. L'important était de mettre le ballon devant ce dernier. Mais lorsqu'on néglige le jeu de pied, comme je le mentionnais un peu plus tôt, parfois, on n'arrive pas à compléter les choses qu'habituellement, on fait les yeux fermés.
2nd and 10, a minute and 10 seconds left in that second quarter. Picton. Blitz is coming. Here's it out on the left side. Jump ball. Caught. Dan Peterman with the huge gain. It's going to be a first down near the red zone.
Et lorsqu'on a un tracé en coin, comme c'était le cas ici du côté de l'équipe de l'Ouest, dès qu'on voit une couverture homme à homme, on doit l'exploiter. Donc Picton n'a pas mis nécessairement le ballon devant son receveur, mais l'a mis en suspension. A dit à Peterman, le receveur, fais un jeu. Le joueur défensif sera dos au ballon. Toi, tu sais exactement la trajectoire. Et Peterman a fait un ajustement impeccable.
Picton with time finds Chow. Cuts right, try to cut left again, but his tackle just shy of the first down. It's going to be a close one.
Parlait de gestion de match, ça semble bon pour le premier essai.
Yep.
Donc, c'était probablement sa troisième option à Picton. Il y avait deux tracés plus verticaux dans la zone début, mais en même temps, a suffisamment de temps, plus 50 secondes à sa disposition. On est en train d'orchestrer probablement la meilleure série offensive du match. Donc, il est allé trouver son dépanneur et ça a été payant.
Beautiful game management from Noah Picton. Started that drive in his own zone, now at the East zone 11-yard line. Under pressure, in trouble now, he's sacked.
Quel jeu de Rémi Deschamps, le numéro 91 des Rouges. Un produit du Valero de l'Université de Sherbrooke a facilement battu le bloqueur à droite. S'est amené fin seul dans le champ arrière au moment où Picton allait prendre sa décision. Et il joue bien, Rémi Deschamps. On a mentionné son nom 2 ou 3 fois. Un joueur qui a une stature intéressante, mais comme on l'a vu là-dessus, se déplace bien gauche-droite. Est extrêmement explosif.
So there's a timeout on the field. It's going to be 2nd and 15 and not 2nd and goal. You can still earn the first down and not get the touchdown if you get tackled at the half-a-yard line. Could say it like this.
Yep.
So it's going to be a key moment there for the East defense. Down by 6 points. Just before halftime, Noah Picton, who we're talking about the killer instinct. So 13-7 for the West squad.
And I'm curious to see what they're going to do here. Are you going to go deep for the end zone, or are you going to be in a 3-down situation?
It's a screen pass to Tyler Chow with some blockers in front of him. And a good tackle from David Fortier, again from the Sherbrooke University. They are short of the first down. 24 seconds to go. What do you do now?
Well done. Well, Picton wanted to go for it, but I think they're going to be sending the field goal unit on the field. It's a defensive struggle. It's a really close game. And if you go and you succeed, if you go and have 3 points, you'll be taking a 2-score lead right there. 16-7 would give you, obviously, a 9 points lead heading into the locker room.
So Gabriel Ferraro will try to get this one. A really shorter one from his first field goal made from 34 yards. This one is from 14. Offside on the play. And the kick is good. The offside was on the defensive side, though.
Exactly. Try to steal the count on the west, on the east end. It was at the bottom of your screen. It will be declined and we'll be taking the points. So solid drive. We talked about field management. We talked about understanding what's in front of you. Noah Picton, that's in 2016 at least the best player in the nation. Won the Heck Creighton Award. Set a record, an all-time passing record. Noah Picton, 3,186 passing yard in a single season. It's crazy, crazy numbers. You talk about a 3,000 yard season in the NFL. It's okay, it's pretty good, but they're playing twice as many games.
Yep.
He did that in 8 games, if I'm not mistaken, and to be taking a 10 points lead. Oh,
they're going to try the third down now. After the penalty, they're going to try the third down. Picton on the fake handoff will get it. Touchdown. What a call. What a moment for a touchdown.
Well done here, recognizing that the flag put them in a efficient situation to potentially score a touchdown. They have been running the ball really well. So what they did here is they tried to influence the defense inside with that fake handoff. And we saw it earlier. Picton can run. What a great play design, and that's the best possible way to go back to the locker room.
He's not tall, but he is quick. Right there, it earns him a first touchdown, a rushing touchdown for him. It is a good first half for Noah Picton, the Regina quarterback. Now there's the extra point from Gabriel Ferraro. It's a good one, and right now it is a 13-point lead, 20-7 for the West team. So we just told on the last drive it was a key moment for the East defense, and now the West offense make them pay a lot.
Yeah, I don't want to say stupid mistake. The player right there was trying to make a play, trying to still get the count and go for a block. But at the same time, you need to understand the game situation. Is it really worth it to put the opponent in a scoring position right before halftime? Obviously, it's easier said than done. We're up here trying to analyze the game. He didn't think about that option, and the West team made him pay.
The two offensive squad today had problems to just start that game up, and we were waiting for that to happen. It's just normal, but in the second quarter, that West offense has been rolling all cylinders, and that East one is still trying to figure it out.
And it comes down to the quarterback play. Both running games have been efficient, but the Eastern quarterbacks have made more mistakes. They've missed more conventional throws, whereas we saw Picton was in control of that game, made big plays, and that's essentially why they're leading right now.
Squib kick, and the return from Leonardo Mantuila will be a short one, although he tried a lot to get away from the pressure. That's the end of the first half of this 2017 East-West Valero Bowl, with the West team leading by 13. It's 20-7.
L'équipe de l'Ouest qui a semblé avoir une meilleure cohésion offensive. Et c'est aussi simple que de regarder du côté du jeu des carrières. Noah Picton a été à la hauteur. Et ce n'est pas pour faire un mauvais jeu de mots, parce qu'il fait seulement 5 pieds 9 pouces, mais a été en contrôle. Sa gestion de la pochette protectrice a été adéquate. J'ai adoré sa présence d'esprit sur cette dernière séquence. Et on a fait plus de gros jeux. Sans tomber dans les clichés, les receveurs doivent faire de gros attrapés. On l'a vu avec Peterman ici sur le tracé en coin. Même chose un peu plus tôt, Will Watson, attrapé en plongeant sur le toucher. Donc, ultimement, les joueurs d'exception doivent se présenter. C'est, on l'a dit, le début de leur plus grosse entrevue professionnelle en carrière qui va mener, pour certains, une invitation au fameux camp d'évaluation l'an prochain.
Oui.
On évalue les intangibles. On a évalué le tangible cette semaine avec les tests physiques, avec les situations 1 contre 1. On a évalué la façon avec laquelle les joueurs se sont appropriés le livre de jeu. Là, c'est le jour de match. Il faut performer, il faut faire des jeux, il faut se présenter.
Il y a des joueurs qui paraissent bien présentement sur le terrain, notamment grâce au bon travail de la ligne offensive, surtout du côté de l'Ouest. Quand on regarde le travail du porteur de ballon, Tyler Chow, qui a eu ses 3 premières courses au-dessus de 15 verges, il avait eu des petites routes, des mini-autoroutes ouvertes pour lui. Et les deux carrières, Simmons et Picton, ont le temps de manœuvrer l'attaque dans la pochette protectrice. On peut pas nécessairement dire, Charles-Antoine, que c'est la même chose du côté de l'Est. Hugo Richard ainsi que surtout Nate Hobbs a été beaucoup pressé durant cette première mi-temps.
Et le lien entre le jeu terrestre et le jeu aérien et Team Media est en pleine démonstration. On a débuté, tu l'as mentionné, avec un jeu plus simple, un jeu terrestre plus simple. Nord-sud, on a attaqué les secondaires, on a gardé les joueurs de ligne défensive un petit peu plus hésitants. Une fois qu'on fait ça, une fois qu'on tombe dans notre créneau, qu'on garde la défense au sein de la boîte plus hésitante, mais clairement, on peut progresser dans le livre de jeu. Et ce n'est pas un addon si le premier quart a été marqué par du jeu au sol dominant, et ensuite, lors des 7-8 dernières minutes, l'attaque aérienne de l'Ouest a pris le contrôle.
Il y a un receveur de base de chaque côté qui s'illustre cependant. Du côté de l'Ouest, c'est bien sûr celui qui a marqué le premier touché du match, Will Watson, qui a plusieurs beaux attrapés. Si on oublie ce jeu où il y a eu une mauvaise communication, une mauvaise entente avec son corps arrière, de l'autre côté, Guillaume Paquet a créé ce seul jeu, pas à lui seul, parce que Hugo Richard s'était bien sorti d'impasse, mais Guillaume Paquet a fait un énorme jeu, un énorme gain qui, comme tu l'as précisé, ne s'est pas viré en touché au final. Mine de rien, c'est deux receveurs de passe qui s'illustrent pour le moment.
Ouais, et bon, tu fais bien de mentionner Will Watson, mais ce qui est quand même fou, c'est que si on considère Paquette et on regarde de l'autre côté, c'est deux joueurs du Québec à la position de receveur qui ont beaucoup de succès. On a fait allusion à Étienne Moisan, un transfuge. Donc, ce sont deux des joueurs qui connaissent bien ce terrain, qui connaissent bien l'environnement, qui ont eu beaucoup de succès. Et si tu me permets un petit aparté, je trouve ça tellement plaisant de voir la relève sur le terrain en ce moment. C'est le mini Rouge-et-Or qui est à l'œuvre. Et le mini Rouge-et-Or, c'est un système de développement qui est à l'œuvre depuis près d'une vingtaine d'années. Mais avec l'évolution du sport, on a vu aussi une évolution des règles et on s'est adapté. On voit les joueurs qui sont en équipement, mais qui ont également des mouchoirs, les fameux flags. Donc, c'est un football plutôt sans contact. On veut justement en bas âge minimiser les situations potentiellement problématiques, mais en développant les habiletés nécessaires pour avoir du succès dans le sport. C'est-à-dire lancer, capter, des changements de direction, comprendre les systèmes de jeu. Donc, à mon avis, une formule bien adaptée au goût du jour, avec un petit peu plus de soucis pour la sécurité des jeunes. Et qui sait, ces jeunes-là vont peut-être porter le même casque, mais dans une quinzaine d'années, devant près de 15-16 000 personnes ici au PEPS.
Ça se développe vite, des jeunes joueurs comme ça. Sur
Ouais.
ces images du futur, on va y aller vers une pause avec l'équipe de l'Ouest qui mène ce challenge Est-Ouest Valero 2017 20-7. Bonne performance complète de l'équipe de l'Ouest. On est de retour dans quelques minutes. Analyse complète en anglais et le début du troisième quart. Restez là.
gotta go, but good seeing you, man. Enjoy. Take care.
We are back live at this 2017 Valero East-West Bowl. Yeah, we have to say it in the right order. Francis Maheu with Charles-Antoine Sinot for that first half recap. Not a huge day for the East team offense. The West one was a bit better, actually, really better.
No, I liked what I saw, and the best players on the Western squad were better than the best player on the Eastern squad. And I want to see more from some of the local players here. Some of the Rougeau players have been so good this week. I want to see that being translated onto the field. I want to see the Eastern O-line dominate a bit more if they can.
Yep.
They're a big group of guys that can move, but it's been the other way around. We talked a lot, and they did this week. Like I was chatting with some of the coaches, they said, pay attention to that Eastern D-line. But it's been the other way around.
Yep.
The Western O-line has been dominating. The running backs on the Western side have been really, really good. I like how decisive they are. And we have to mention, and we'll talk about that in more depth, there's only 2 of them. So there's been only 2 running backs on the field, but both of them have been really good. Tyler Chow and Adley Simons.
Yep.
Look, a really good first half for the Western side. Sorry.
Tyler Chow, it's 4 rushes for 68 yards, and Adley Simon, 8 rushes for 50 yards. We have to talk a bit about Hugo Richard. He had a rough start and a rough second quarter at quarterback for the Eastern team.
It would have been worrisome for me if we would have been at the same date, but last year.
Yeah.
Hugo Richard was struggling after his second season, but he just did such an impressive mental work over the last year and a half. And throughout the season, he progressed. And what I liked, and I'll bring it back to the current game, is that he was never letting himself be too affected by some early mistakes. Early mistakes in the games, but also early mistakes in the season. And he peaked at the right time. He was great this week. We talked about it. All the coaches were really impressed by his maturity level.
Yep.
That's what he needs to show today. He played the second quarter, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him close the game. It's a tight game, so he might have a wonderful opportunity at bringing his team back in the game in the last minutes in front of his fans. And lastly, I want to mention that it's an all-star game. There's players from across the nation.
Yep.
It's not the same thing as a regular season game, but there's around 7,000 people who showed up, and
Yep.
that's really impressive. We got to give kudos to Laval University for not only organizing such a special day, but an event, and that's what brings the fans over to the field. So, really good job by them.
Quickly on the other side of the field, we had Regina's quarterback Noah Picton, who had a really good day, 9 for 12, 115 yards, 1 rushing touchdown. Seems that he's have enough protection from this really good offensive line, but he's really mature in his pocket, taking the right decisions.
Making the right decisions with players he doesn't really know all that well. He's a timing passer. He's a systems player, meaning he knows where to go with the ball when he's with his team. There's different players. It's different play names, different coaches out there, and it doesn't seem to bother him. That shows you that he's an unbelievable quarterback. Sadly for him, considering that he would potentially have a shot at the next level with his arm, he's too small, he's too short, but
Yep.
it doesn't translate onto the playing field. He's 5'9", but he plays big. In a pocket, he has guys who are 6'2", 6'3", 4 in front of him, but it doesn't matter. He still finds his passing lane. Noah Picton was the Eck Creighton winner, MVP of the nation this year, and we see why today on the field.
Real quickly, let's show some love for those special teams guys. The 2 kickers are doing real well right now. Vincent Dubé from Bishop had a monstrous punt early in the second quarter and a beautiful field goal at 36 yards.
Sorry. Not only the kickers, and you're right to mention that they've been playing well. There's only 2 of them, so they don't have any backups as the play is about to start. But also special teamers. If you want to play at the next level in the CFL, you got to show that you can play on teams, and that's what a bunch of those guys have been doing so far today.
So it's going to be the East offense starting with the ball in the third quarter, down by 13. And at the quarterback position, we find again Queens product Nate Hobbs, who had a pretty good first quarter, but not a lot of time from this offensive line to stay calm and stay patient inside the pocket.
5 for 8, 37 yards, no touchdown for Hobbs. As we started the second half a little bit like we ended the first with flags on the play. I think there was too many men on the field.
So that is a usual all-star penalty.
Yeah, because there's so many changes throughout the game, from one series to another, from one quarter to the next. And I think number 25 right there on the red squad, Bryce Vieira, thought he had to be on the field. He was, but there was another guy who didn't step out.
The East offense was able to manage only 111 passing yards, 14 rushing yards. Hobbs looking left. Quick pass. Caught by Nelson. Brought out of bounds, and he's going to gain close to 10 yards. It's going to be a second down and manageable now.
One thing that all four of those quarterbacks from both teams have in common is that they are not shy to find their check down. Often quarterbacks want to do too much. They look at their first read. Sometimes they'll try to push the ball into double coverage. So far, they've been able to come back to the third and fourth read and take what the defense is giving them.
On 2nd and 10, still Hobbs. With time, stepping up, finally. Escapes the pressure. Rolling right. In trouble. Tries a deep throw, and it is caught. First down. Guillaume Paquet on the catch.
What a play by Hobbs, the Queens quarterback. He had a huge defender on him in the backfield. Brett Wade, the defensive lineman from the Calgary Dinos, was right there. Had done a great job penetrating the center of the O-line. But Hobbs kept his eyes downfield, and Paquet is awesome. The Carabin receiver at adjusting, seeing what's developing in front of him, helped his quarterback by being right next to the sideline.
And that's his fourth catch of the day. He's well over 80 yards of gain. Hobbs on 1st and 10 under pressure. It's a screen throw. There's a flag. Maybe they roughed the passer on that play. And they did.
All right. Good eyes on that. It's always tough for the defensive lineman. It was a screen play, right? So the offensive lineman will let the defenders come through. They want to invite the defense in the backfield to generate some space at the second level. So you have a big defensive lineman running straight at the quarterback, unblocked, and now he has to stop on a dime. Sadly for him here, he wasn't able to slow down enough, and that's 15 free yards for the Western offensive squad.
You and I are not really big guys. It's really easier said than done for these huge defensive linemen.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Hand off down the middle. A good run there for Jordan Sokolachiuk. A gain of almost 8 yards.
Well done by Sokolachiuk, but also by the quarterback. It was an RPO, it seemed like. Run, pass, option. So quarterback had his eyes on the defender. There was an option game going and a route. The receivers were actually running a route on the opposite side. He decided to give the ball to the running back from St. FX, who had a tremendous season for the St. FX X-Men, gained over 1,000 yards on the ground, only the third X-Men in history to do so.
Sokolachiuk again, down the middle. And a good gain that will put that Eastern team inside the 40.
Well done again. Same type of play. Look at the quarterback's eyes. Decides to end off because there's mathematically an advantage inside. And Sokolachiuk does that really well. Attacking the line of scrimmage with full head of steam. 5'8", 189 yards. Played in the Maritimes, but is actually from Fort McMurray, Alberta.
They really needed that ground game to get better in that third quarter. Hobbs on the play action. Pass is caught by Anthony Dufour.
Do a quick switch to French here. A Quebec receiver was involved. Et on a parlé du jeu au sol lors des deux dernières séquences, mais le KR avait toujours l'option de conserver et avait un tracé qui se développait au deuxième niveau. Mais on parle de progression d'un jeu à l'autre. On parle de conditionner la défense. C'est exactement ce que l'attaque vient de faire lorsqu'on a réagi au sol, mais le tracé intérieur était facilement atteignable pour le receveur du Rouge et Or.
Second down and 2. Hobbs. Quick pass in the middle. Caught by Nelson. First down, and all of a sudden that Eastern team is picking it up.
Nelson, receveur de l'université Bishop. Il y a plusieurs Gators qui sont là. Ce qui est particulier, on vous le rappelle, c'est qu'ils évolueront dans la conférence des Maritimes. L'université Gators, des Gators, l'université Bishop qui est située à Sherbrooke, a décidé de se joindre à une conférence qui était peut-être structurée de façon un peu plus similaire que leurs plus petites universités.
Hobbs on the screen. Dangerous throw, and it is Blocked there by the defensive lineman number 98 on the play. Was not supposed to do that play, but Matt Kozun was there at the right time.
98 was there, and I also really like what I saw from number 56, Rashari Henry, defensive lineman. In the screen game, a defensive lineman has to follow the O-line. So obviously they're trying to sell the run play, but when you see the O-line going to the perimeter, might as well follow them. It will bring you to the ball, and that's exactly what happened.
2nd and 10, Hobbs rolling to his right. Pass is blocked by Matthew Skolko. Wonderful play from the D lineman. There's got to be a 3rd down and 10, a field goal situation.
The Western front is huge right now. They're not necessarily the heaviest defensive linemen, but they're really tall. And again, the quarterbacks on the field today are not that tall. So Hobbs had a lot of pressure in his passing lane, but there's a flag on the play, and they'll give them 10 yards and an automatic 1st down. What a mistake by the Western defense.
We didn't see that flag getting thrown, Charles-Antoine. Like you just said, the offense has to stay on the field, and actually the Eastern team was not sure what would happen there. The offense was halfway back on the bench. The kicker was ready to get in the field goal position, but we start again with the offense now inside the 10.
There's a nice matchup at the bottom of your screen. Outside, the receiver and DBs are one-on-one.
Hobbs keeps it. Throws on the left, but a good coverage there on Tanner Green. Never open on that play. It's going to be a 2nd down and goal at the 8-yard line.
And the Eastern offense and their coaching staff have decided during halftime probably to increase those RPOs, those options where the quarterback can read defenses. Benoit Groux, who people in Quebec City know really well, he was their quarterback, won 2 Vanier Cup, is in charge of that offense. He's also defensive coordinator at McGill and has done a really good job since the return of the half.
And down the middle, huge tackle by Boston Rowe. He's having quite a day.
Huge tackle because he just hit one of the toughest players to bring down, Chris Omoa, the Laval Rougeau running back. Look at his legs when he's running. His strides are so powerful. He lifts his knees every single time, makes it really hard to get a clean tackle. He was heading to the end zone, but Boston Rowe, as you said, the Calgary linebacker, made touchdown saving tackle. That tackle for his team is probably going to be worth 4 points because right now the Western team is trying to attempt a field goal.
His 5th tackle of the day. Maybe the biggest one earlier in the 1st quarter. Again on Chris Omoa. Short field goal situation for Vincent Dubé at the 10-yard line. And they're going to take the penalty. Because anyway, maybe Dubé was a bit too close from the post.
Ouais, tu as un bon point là-dessus, Francis. Même si c'est quelques verges, c'est probablement plus problématique pour un batteur puisque l'angle est beaucoup plus fermé, restreint entre les deux poteaux en étant positionné sur le trait assuré d'un côté ou l'autre. Donc, va donner un petit peu de marge de manœuvre et son élan pourrait être un peu plus naturel.
Vincent Dubé already has 2 field goals today, one from 36 and the second one from 16 yards. This one will be from 14. Almost a formality at this point. And there it is. 3rd field goal of the day for the Bishops product. And now the lead has got to 10 points, 20-10 for the Western team.
What a way to come back from the locker room. The Eastern team was struggling all half. They made adjustments, and I don't like getting into those cliches of adjustments because obviously both teams are making adjustments, but I like how they simplified the offense and found some rhythm, and you'll see a defense that'll be well rested, obviously because they had 20 minutes in the locker room, but also because their offense allowed them to stay on the sideline for a bit.
Siemens at quarterback for the Western team. Deep throw on the right side, too long for Noah Acaro.
Nice matchup here on the outside. Noah Acaro, the Windsor receiver, 6'3", 180-yard, a speedster, facing one of the tallest DB in the nation, Zachary Alexis from the Carabin. Number 35 on the Eastern squad is 6'1", really, really long arm. And you see that south of the border more and more. Those DBs down south are getting longer and taller because the receivers are as well. So they want to be able to disrupt them at the line of scrimmage, and Zachary is a really interesting prospect.
On 2nd and 10, it's Siemens. Throw is caught, and it is for a first down. Dallas both from Calgary.
And the ball took a bit too much time to come. It landed in Dallas Boat's hands, but the linebacker extended really well. It was Jackson Bennett, number 5 from the Red Squad, who could have caught the ball for 6. But Dallas Boat, if I'm not mistaken, just made his first catch of the game. He's one of the solid Dinos receiver.
Here's Simon. Cuts back in the middle. Breaks a tackle and then gets to the 52-yard line, and it is good for first down. A wonderful vision there from the running back.
Show me movement on an offensive line, and I'll show you positive result in the ground game. They are dominating. The defenders, the front on the eastern side, are constantly on their heels, so they're getting attacked instead of attacking. That's why since the initial whistle, the Western squad has been dominating the ground game.
Here's Simon again, and this time, no place to go. A gain of 3 yards. So the Western team is able to build offense on each drives. On the opponent side, the Eastern team have been a little bit more dangerous early on in that third quarter, but again, they are stocked and stopped at the end of the red zone.
And it's a second medium to long distance. I'm curious to see what they're going to do on defense. Are they going to bring some pressure? I think so.
Blitz is picked up. Good pass by Siemens. First down, a little bit more from Dan Peterman.
Really well done by Peterman. Physical route. It was an hook concept. So you have to come back to the quarterback. The defender was in good position, so he actually contacted subtly the defender. And you saw number 27 was on the ground. But because the receiver didn't extend his hand, didn't extend his arm, he wasn't called for a PI, pass interference. Good timing route and great physical presence by the McMaster receiver.
He's the one who made that huge gain in the second quarter. Great adjustment. Tall body. 1st and 10, but there's a flag. It's going to be on the offense. They're going to drop 5 yards. And still first down. Siemens at quarterback has been solid today, consistent, taking his time and making the right decisions in his pocket. 1st and 15. Quick screen on the left side. The beautiful play by number 24 down there. It was Mandela Logel from St. Mary's.
The key on a screen to the outside receiver on the weak side, which was the strategy on offense, is to block the most dangerous defender on the outside. That guy was number 24. Got rid of the block, made a really nice tackle, slowed down the receiver enough to help his teammate get to the point, and that's what you want on defense. Force a second and really long.
4-man pressure only. Siemens with time, steps up, big throw, beautiful play on defense. Matthew Natel.
And another flag on the play, another offside. This time will be on offense. And that's interesting. Are they going to decline it to force a third down, or are they going to accept it and bring the ball back further and potentially prohibit the offense from attempting a field goal?
It has been declined. And if they try a field goal, it's going to be a pretty long one.
Yeah, 42-yard field goal, but that's what they'll be trying. There's not a lot of wind, but the slight wind that there is in favor of the Western kicker right now.
So Gabriel Ferraro already made one from 34, now trying from 42. Kick is up, and it's good and easily. Could have done 50 yards on this one. A good, powerful kick from Guelph's kicker, Gabriel Ferraro, who's looking good in this game.
Both kickers, other than the initial punts by Dubé, the Eastern kickers, have been really efficient. They needed to be good. It's a possession game. It's a defensive struggle, and they showed up. And it's a tough week for them because their testing aren't that important, so they're not going to impress with their numbers. They're going to spend their weeks on their own, like they always do, essentially. But it's hard for them to connect. You have to stay in your bubble, stay in your comfort zone, and it's such a tough psychological game at the kicker position, and both of them have been showing up this afternoon.
Hobbs, play action. Beautiful catch. Deschamps, smelly, and it's good for a first down.
You mentioned a beautiful catch. It was by the Bishop's receiver, but also from the quarterback. The snap was really low. He had to catch the ball on the ground, fake the handoff, and throw that accurate pass. Efficient, spectacular play by the Queens quarterback. Not only because you have to catch the ball on the ground, but also because you lose the visual contact with the receiver as you're trying to catch the ball.
You lose that important split second.
Yeah, exactly.
First and 10 for Nate Hobbs. Bad snap. Hobbs take it back. Rolls on his right. Under pressure. Skoko is near. And he's just going to throw this one out of bounds. Good decision here by Queens quarterback.
It's a struggle right now for the Eastern side center. Both snaps, consecutive snaps, lacked accuracy. Had a really bad moment in the game. They were moving the ball. They were in good position. They had a chance to retaliate after that field goal attempt, and now it's second and long.
Down by 13 points. Hobbs. Good protection. Now he's under pressure. There's a flag, a holding call. So that play is going to be nullified anyway. Hobbs will try to gain a bit more yards. Take that huge tackle. Loses the ball, but it's not a fumble anyway. Flag on the play.
One of the most dominant defensive players today on the field has been number 52 from the Calgary Dinos, Brett Wade. He was in the backfield, and it's because of him that Casey Baker, number 62 on the offensive line, got called for holding.
So they're going to lose some yardage on that play. 10 yards exactly. It's going to be a second down and really long for Nate Hobbs and his offense. 4:30 left in that third quarter. Four-man rush only, and there's pressure. Hobbs escapes it. He gets tackled from behind. A gain of 5 yards. Well short from the first down.
Well, there was a lack of communication on the left side of the O-line. Defender Hassan Barry, number 78, massive defender at 6'1", 325. McMaster Marauders showed up in the backfield untouched, and there was two offensive linemen looking at each other saying, I thought it was your guy. So clearly you need to communicate early on the offensive line, and it just cost the Eastern team a possession.
Here's Will Watson on the punt return. Gain approximately 5 yards.
I thought there was a block in the back here. Number 42 on the West team, Micah Tights, got lucky. He pushed the Sherbrooke defender in the back right as the ball was being caught. The ref kept their flags in their pocket. And we talked about cohesion, developing a bond between players. It's the same challenge for the referees. There's referees from across the nation today. Usually they work as a team during the regular season. Now they had to develop that communication really quickly early in the game.
Here's Chow, who had a monstrous first half. Breaks the tackle, but nowhere to go on the left side. Actually, he's going to lose some yardage there.
We'll try to go back to French for a little bit. Il y a un joueur là-dessus, un joueur québécois, numéro 91 des Rouges, Rémi Deschamps. Un autre du Valero de l'Université de Sherbrooke qui s'est impliqué. Il n'a pas réussi le plaquer, mais l'ailier défensif était au point de remise, a forcé le porteur de ballon à déborder. Et c'est souvent le cas. On parle souvent du 1/12e. C'est de faire sa responsabilité, rester dans son corridor pour, la plupart du temps, permettre à un coéquipier de réussir la statistique.
On 2nd and 11, Siemens takes the drop back with time, finds Chow, who will get just shy of the first down, and there's a late flag on the play.
Peut-être un bloc dans le dos, un des receveurs des Blancs là-dessus, qui a été pris en défaut à la fin du jeu. De toute façon, on n'avait pas le premier essai, donc je ne serais pas surpris de voir la défense décliner cette pénalité et forcer l'équipe de l'Ouest à dégager.
So will they get the penalty accepted or declined? It is declined. 3rd down and short.
But they're going to keep the offense on the field. Alors on semble...
Might go for it there.
Et on mise beaucoup puisqu'on est dans son propre territoire. Habituellement, on va considérer ce genre de situation dépasser la ligne des 45-50 de son propre territoire, puisqu'on sait très bien que si la défense là-dessus réussit à arrêter l'attaque adverse, on sera en excellente position pour redonner le ballon à notre offense.
3rd and a little bit more than a yard. Siemens with time. Finds his receiver, Dallas both, and it is well enough for a 1st down. Huge play there.
Ah, belle prise de décision. C'était risqué, en plus qu'on y aille avec une stratégie aérienne, mais des tracés courts où on permet non seulement au carrière de sortir le ballon rapidement de sa main, mais également au receveur en question de courir après l'attraper. Et c'est exactement ce que Dallas Both a fait. Il me fait beaucoup penser à un Wes Welker. C'est son style. Pas nécessairement le plus grand, le plus rapide, mais il est extrêmement agile et ses changements de direction sont vifs.
1st and 10 at their own 45. There's Chow. Cuts back left. Beautiful play on the defensive squad. Again, it's number 99, Mathieu Breton.
Et on en parlait en début de reportage. Le jeune de Roxborough au Québec, qui s'aligne avec les Gators de Bishop, est un excellent athlète, mais a un mandat unique de par sa stature. À 6 pieds 8 pouces, il est très grand, mais souvent on le fait jouer à l'intérieur comme plaqueur défensif. C'est le cas à l'instant. Et le rôle d'un plaqueur défensif, c'est de neutraliser un joueur ou deux et donc d'être plus bas qu'eux. C'est difficile d'être plus bas que l'adversaire lorsqu'on fait 6 pieds 8 pouces.
Siemens on 2nd down. Looking deep on the left side. And that pass was hard to catch for his receiver, Noah Akaro. 3rd down.
Tracé extrêmement complexe à compléter. C'est un tracé de synchronisme, tracé extérieur, mais du côté large. Donc oui, un tracé d'environ 10 verges là-dessus. Mais si on calcule le côté large du terrain, ça devient une passe de pratiquement 45 verges avec une fenêtre de quelques pouces entre le receveur et les lignes de côté. Donc là-dessus, Siemens a tardé à décocher sa passe et c'est ce qui a expliqué la passe incomplète.
So here's Gabriel Ferraro's punt, a good one. Fielded by Bryce Vieira, who tries to find a gap. There's none. And they're going to start the offensive drive at their own 20. A good punt there by Gabriel Ferraro. And you see that tight spiral. Always a good result.
Not only the tight spiral, which is really important to generate distance, but also the fact that it landed between the numbers and the sideline. It seems simple, but it's so hard to do. To generate enough height, velocity, but also accuracy. And the result is what you just saw. No return because the whole coverage team can converge on the returner.
Last minute of the 3rd quarter. Nate Hobbs will give this one to his running back. And a huge gain there for Leonardo Mantuila. Still running. And now at midfield, a gain of almost 30 yards.
There was an awesome block from the right guard, number 68. Nolan McGreer from Carleton moved right to left, was patient. Same thing with the running back. Waited for his lead-up blocker to explode upfield. One of the longest rushing play today from the Eastern squad.
Never hesitated on that one. Nate Hobbs in the backfield. Rolls right. He's got time. He's going to gain 6 yards there.
He had an open receiver inside. It was a long developing route. You saw number 3 receiver, not the jersey number, but the third from the outside, ran an outside route and then broke back inside. Was wide open. But when you run a double cut, you need a sufficient protection, sufficient block. And that's what I guess the quarterback felt. Felt pressure around him, had to escape, and the primary target became a non-factor because he was outside the vision of his quarterback.
2nd and 5. Right at midfield. Sokolachuk with the beautiful vision there. Had to stop. Cuts back to his left. And it is good for a first down.
Great patience. He allowed his O-line to move to the right as the third quarter is ending. But Sokolachuk was dominant. We mentioned it earlier. Led the Est-Ouest conference on the ground. Was 2nd overall in U Sports in Canada for rushing yards with 1,056 yards on 163 rushes. He was really the main force for the St. FX offense.
And that's the end of the third quarter with the East team trailing by 13 points. It is 23-10. West Team, Charles-Antoine, va falloir que cette équipe de l'Est profite de ses bonnes chances lorsqu'on arrive en zone payante. Ça fait 2 fois aujourd'hui qu'on arrive tout près de la zone début. On était en dedans de la ligne de 5, on n'arrive pas à marquer le toucher. Si on veut revenir dans ce match, il va falloir être opportuniste.
Tout à fait. Et là, on voit quelque chose d'unique puisque c'est un match d'étoiles. On débute une série avec un carrière, mais le plan de match était clair. Hugo Richard allait jouer au 4e quart, donc a pris la relève. Donc entre le jeu au sol de Sokolachuk et cette passe au premier essai, on a changé d'effectif. Et pour revenir à ton point, ben c'est sur justement les épaules du carrière du Rougiard, Hugo Richard. Il y a plusieurs personnes qui sont là aujourd'hui. On parle d'une foule de 6-7 000 personnes. Plusieurs qui ont vu Hugo Richard émerger cette année ou réémerger comme le leader qu'il avait été à son année recrue. Ben c'est une belle opportunité dans ces 15 prochaines minutes d'offrir la victoire à l'équipe de l'Est.
The Vanier Cup winner Hugo Richard at quarterback now on 2nd and 6. Now in the western zone. Richard under pressure, big blitz, wonderful throw, under pressure and a catch.
Et ces deux anciens coéquipiers là-dessus, Jean-Gabriel Poulet et Hugo Richard. On a vu la carrière du Rougeard sous pression puisque le secondaire des Mustangs de l'Université Western avait amené de la pression. Blitz au centre. Les deux joueurs ont joué ensemble avec les Cheetahs de l'Université Vanier. Richard a décidé de rester au Québec. Quant à Poulet, il s'est expatrié plutôt en Ontario. Malgré tout, le carrière là-dessus qui a eu le dessus avec une passe précise en plein contact.
And a beautiful catch by running back Sokolachuk there. 1st and 10. Richard. What a play on defense by number 13 there. It was Laken Idowu.
Tight coverage, and he had to be tight. He had to be confident at defensive back because it was a almost all-out blitz from the front. Number 47, the linebacker who's stepping out in the field as we talk, Daniel Nesbitt, was in the backfield quickly. Hugo Richard again had to get rid of the ball, and the coverage was tight and efficient.
2nd and 10. Key moment for Hugo Richard. Under pressure again.
Try to make the best out of it. Get some good blocks. And will be stopped just shy of the first down. Nonetheless, a good movement there from Hugo Richard.
Et à chaque fois qu'Hugo Richard court, ben, la foule retient un peu son souffle. Il a eu quelques problèmes de santé depuis son arrivée avec le Rougiard, mais en même temps, c'est son ADN. Aime courir, a besoin de s'impliquer. Il n'est pas du genre à glisser. Il n'a pas de problème à y aller tête première. C'est ce qu'il a fait là-dessus. Pas suffisant pour un premier essai, mais permet à son attaque de demeurer sur le terrain. On va tenter d'y aller sur ce troisième et court.
3rd and a yard. Hugo Richard and the offense still on the field. They go with the sneak. And that's enough.
Et la clé sur une faufilade du carrière, même si ça peut paraître contradictoire, c'est d'être patient. Oui, on veut rapidement aller gagner cette verge, mais en même temps, on doit laisser le temps au front offensif, aux 5-6 joueurs de ligne, d'aller gagner le niveau d'engagement. Donc le carrière doit prendre le ballon, hésiter pour une fraction de seconde et prendre sa décision. C'est exactement ce qu'a fait Hugo Richard. Il avait le champ libre vers un premier jeu.
1st down near the red zone. for the East squad. Richard looking left with time. Pass is caught by Guillaume Paquet. That's going to be good for 6 yards.
Et un joueur en ce moment qui est sur le terrain, un joueur des Redmen de l'Université McGill, et son histoire est intéressante. C'est un des capitaines d'équipe, Joël Hull, au poste d'ailier rapproché. Je vous parle de son histoire, c'est qu'il était quart arrière dans les rangs collégiaux. Le joueur le plus utile à son équipe à l'époque à Valleyfield en 2012-2013. Donc le meilleur carrière de la ligue se rend avec les Redmen de McGill comme carrière. Et on décide de le changer de position. Maintenant, il est rapproché, mais cette année, il a même joué au poste de bloqueur à gauche. On parle de polyvalence. Ben, c'est vraiment la marque de commerce de Joël Hull.
There's a Moa. And he's going to get stopped short of the first down. We thought for a moment he had just enough room to get through the first level of defenders, but all of a sudden, it was closed.
And you always want to give credit to who's playing well. And I don't mean to say that the Eastern offensive lineman hasn't been great, but there's been rarely any progression. Chris Amoa needs a fraction, a half a second to generate speed, and that's what he's trying to do in the backfield. He's doing a good job attacking the line with full head of steam, but there's rarely gaping hole in the O-line, meaning that O-line isn't progressing, but also that the front is really active.
He's Vincent Dubé trying a 24-yarder. And it is good. He's 4 for 4 today. Well, maybe the offense is not showing a lot for the red team, but Vincent Dubé is taking all the opportunity to show his beautiful leg right now. He has made some from 36, 16, 14, and now 24. Had some good punts. The Bishop guy is showing a lot of potential now.
Et j'ai hâte de voir le développement de cette saga. La prise de décision, on peut le dire, un peu controversée des Gators de se diriger dans les maritimes. Ce qui est fascinant, c'est qu'une équipe, par exemple, comme le Vert et Or de l'Université de Sherbrooke, même les Carabins potentiellement, si le Rouge et Or sort de la conférence Québec, donc on bat les Carabins, qu'on bat le Vert et Or au McGill, mais pour avoir moins d'opportunités que les Gators de se rendre en demi-finale canadienne, puisqu'on s'entend, la conférence des Maritimes est un peu plus faible. Donc ce ne serait pas surprenant de voir des joueurs à maturité, ceux des Gators, aller dominer dans l'Est du Canada et se tailler une place dans le carré d'as, alors qu'une équipe, comme je le disais, les Carabins, le Vert pourrait être laissé de côté. Donc ça démontre peut-être un peu le déséquilibre en ce moment au football universitaire canadien. Et je ne blâme pas les Gators de l'avoir fait. On a saisi une opportunité, on a senti qu'on cadrait mieux dans la structure des Maritimes et on a décidé de déménager.
10 points differential after that fourth field goal from Vincent Dubé. Beautiful run there by Siemens, who will get the first down on that run option. Decided to keep the ball, and a good decision that was.
Kyle Siemens, quarterback from Saskatchewan, 5'10", 195 yards. We talked about the pride of local players in Saskatchewan to remain with their university. He's from Saskatoon, decided to play for Saskatchewan, had a pretty good year. Over 2,000 yards passing, 13 touchdowns against only 7 interceptions.
First and 10, bad snap. Siemens still able to give it to Simon. It's going to be a gain of 3 yards.
From one Saskatchewan player to another, this one, the running back Atlee Simon is having a great day. The Regina product, I like is the combination of size and explosiveness and agility. You saw there's traffic in the backfield. His lateral move was swift. It's not a big gain, but he's showing professional scouts that he can contribute even when there's crowd in the backfield.
2nd and 7, Siemens. Good pass to Richmond Nicotia. That's a first down.
I like what I'm seeing from the Western offense. Here, obviously, the pass was accurate, but a receiver needs to be aware of his surrounding and be aware of the situation. He didn't need to dance there. He already had a first down, caught the ball, turned upfield, and got physical. You want to see a receiver run crisp route, but you also want to see an athlete make plays in space. That's exactly what he just did.
And here comes Noah Picton all of a sudden. Fake handoff. We'll give it to Simon. And that is a good gain of 6 yards. going to be 2nd and 4.
We talked earlier about those RPOs, options where the quarterback can hand off or keep it himself. That's what that play was looking like, but it was designed that way. He never wanted to give the ball to the running back initially. They wanted to influence the defense on one side and have the running back run that shovel option, and the two teammates with the Regina Rams ran that to perfection.
Here's Picton. Again with a lot of time. Deep throw. And it is caught. Huge gain there, and it is number 14, Mitchell O'Connor from McMaster.
Yeah, I don't think the pass was intended for O'Connor, though. There was Peterman, number 82, who was in the middle area. Look at number 82. He jumps for the ball, and it's his teammate with the McMaster Marauders, who's probably not in the right area, but whatever. It's not how, it's what you get out of it.
Whatever works best.
Yeah.
1st and 10, right in the red zone for Picton, who's having quite a day. Picton under pressure, escapes it, floats this one, and it is blocked. Pass defended by number 24, Mandela Logel there.
Loved his feet quickness there. The quarterback from Regina moved well in the pocket. He had an option, though. As soon as he got out of that traffic jam, had a nice option in the flat. He should have taken it right away. But I guess he still felt like he was in a hustle, felt like he had pressure behind him, and he lacked accuracy on that pass.
Another huge key moment for the East defense. Down by 10 points, 7 minutes to go in that 4th quarter. 4-man rush, Picton, quick delivered. And a wonderful play. Mitchell O'Connor again. They only have 2 yards separating them from the touchdown zone.
Oh, that was well done on both ends. Picton put a nice touch on the ball in between defender and that zone defense, and O'Connor adapted not only to the ball but the defenders around him, protected the catch right away. And again, the Western offense is moving the ball, especially when their star quarterback Noah Picton is in the game.
So it's going to be 3 yards finally for Picton.
And a score here would be huge. They're leading by 10. If they can put 7 on the board, it will be really hard for the Eastern squad to come back.
There's a timeout at the last second from the Eastern team.
Looked like there was a guy missing on the play.
And Picton was actually running this one on the left side, maybe an option play, not sure. But we kind of saw a bit of a strategy there.
Yeah, you potentially saw the weakness because there was only 11 players on the field defensively. Number 95 came running in. Kene Oniaka from Carleton at the last second. Smart move on the Western squad, taking that timeout at a crucial time in the game.
So it's still going to be 1st and goal with 6:35. No matter what's going to be the end result on this drive, the Eastern offense will have to go and air out that ball a lot. They don't want to get back into the game. Picton keeps it. Short throw.
Oh!
And the ball is popped. And they say incomplete, and there's a call of a touchdown on the pylons. So 2 different calls.
I feel like it'll be a touchdown for the Western squad. As soon as you walk into the end zone with possession of the ball, which the H-back did, it's over. The play is over. So the defender right there, number 35, Zachary Alexis, made a heck of a play, but it was half a second too late, and it'll be 7 points on the board for the Western squad.
Humongous tackle by Zach Alexis there, but like you just said, Jean-Antoine, it is a touchdown. Just enough to add those important 7 points. And after that extra point, it's going to be a 17 points difference with 6 minutes and 25 seconds to go. As you are seeing the replay right now, Zach Alexis laying the big hit, maybe just a yard too far.
And you mentioned Zachary Alexis. He's an interesting prospect. Well, all those players are in their 3rd year. Next year they'll be draft eligible, but they, in most cases, have 2 more years of eligibility left. For Alexis, he's done. He'll have 1 more season next fall with the Montreal Carabin to prove what he can do. So meaning that East-West is even bigger for him because it might be one and done for him. But he's so talented, so athletic. He stepped up in big games. 2 years ago when the Carabin made it to the Vanier Cup, he had huge interception in their playoff run. And we talked about his length earlier. Coaches are dreaming of a cornerback with his size, 6'1", and really, really long arms that can affect the receiver's timing at the line of scrimmage.
And we didn't see a lot of Zach Alexi last year with the Montreal Carabin, but that's actually a good thing when you're a defensive back. That means that the ball is not getting next to you, meaning that the offensive coordinator and the quarterback are a little bit scared of you.
Often no stats are good stats for defenders.
Here's Gagnon Brousseau on the return. Tries to find a hole. Finally will be brought down before his own 20-yard line. It's a good play for the special team here from the West squad.
And I really like that player, Benoit Gagnon Brousseau, receiver, returner for Laval. He had a wonderful cégep career with the Vieux-Montréal Spartiates in Montreal. And he's been good with the Rougeards, but his development was slowed down by a bunch of injuries. Only played 5 games this year, but he is so dangerous with the ball in his hands. He'll be a player to watch in the upcoming 2 years.
So Hugo Richard and his offense with a huge task in front of them. Done by 17, only 6 minutes to go. Quick pass, caught by Pierre. First down.
Oh, I liked what I saw here from the two teammates with the Laval Rougeards. Hugo Richard seemed to impact or influence the defense on the right side. Was looking right, came back to the in-breaking route on the left side. Tyron Pierre is one of the more athletic receivers on the field. Had the fastest T-test this week, which is a really important test for scouts. We talk a lot about the 40, but when you can show lateral quickness, usually it translates well on the field, and Tyron Pierre ran a 3.99, which is really impressive.
Play action. Big throw, big catch. It is Bryce Vieira and another first down.
We talked about ex-teammates being on the field at the same time. Hugo Richard played against Jean-Gabriel Poulain, but he played with Bryce Vieira at Vanier in Cégep. He was his running back then, and we mentioned it earlier. Vieira now plays in Ottawa, but that was a nice Vanier connection on the play.
So back-to-back first downs for Hugo Richard. First down at his own 45. 4-man pressure. Richard taking it upfield, finding the hole. 12-yard gain, first down, Eastern team.
And I don't mind Hugo Richard running as long as he doesn't dance in the backfield. And that's exactly what he avoided there. Look at his decision process. He doesn't like what he sees, takes off and runs vertically. But man, I would like to have him learn how to slide. He goes head first every single time. It's always dangerous when you're at that position.
At midfield, Hugo Richard. 3 receivers on his right. 4-man pressure. Long throw. Caught by Smelly. That's a gain of 5 yards with the forward progress. Second down.
Those passes are dangerous, not because of how they're thrown, because of how those plays are designed. It's a good option to hit the sideline on the strong side of the field, but it is such a long throw. The Red Squad just gained, 5 or 6 yards, but it was a 40-yard pass. The ball was hanging. There's always a high risk of interception.
Time is ticking down for Hugo Richard. Pressure. The pass is caught, one-handed by Vieira, and a huge gain. What a catch.
Unbelievable catch, but maybe an even better route. I'm not sure if we'll see the replay, but you need to see that footwork at the bottom. Fakes to the outside, comes back inside, catches the ball with his left hand. What a special play by number 25. He can be in the backfield as a running back. He can be outside as a receiver, and he is a phenomenal returner. Bryce Vieira, one of the top athletes on the field today.
And the defensive back, Ido, deflected that ball, but Vieira had a lot of concentration on that one. Still made the catch. First down. Richard. Dangerous pass, picked off.
Daniel Nesbitt with the pick, but I think the Eastern team could have scored a touchdown. Look on the left side of Hugo Richard. Bryce Vieira is right there by himself, number 25, but the quarterback doesn't see him, forces the ball inside behind his receiver, and the linebacker is at the right place at the right time, potentially to seal the game. Donc là-dessus, Hugo Richard avait une belle option à gauche, a peut-être été trop gourmand, a voulu frapper un receveur à l'intérieur dans le trafic, et ça pourrait coûter le match pour l'équipe de l'Est du Canada.
3 minutes and a half left on the clock. Get the handoff with Chow. No gain on that play.
Et en ce moment, dans le caucus de l'équipe de l'Ouest, le mandat est clair. On doit absolument garder le ballon à l'intérieur des lignes de côté. Le chronomètre est actif. On a une avance en ce moment de 17 points, donc de 3 possessions. Tout est en contrôle. Absolument éviter, bien évidemment, les revirements, mais également de donner, je vais dire, un temps mort gratuit à l'équipe adverse.
Second and 9. And the West team in control, leading by 17. Here's Chow on the delay. Beautiful play in the defensive setup there by Nelkas Cuemo. And they're going to punt.
Cuemo, number 7, a player from Montreal who decided to go down south to Kent, a prep school in the States, before coming back to Canada, but not to Quebec, to Ontario, and joined the Queen's Golden Gale. Kent being a really good academic institution, he decided to opt for one of the top academic university in the nation.
So Ferraro is ready to punt this one with less than 3 minutes to go. You have to wonder what would be the strategy there.
What a punt.
Vieira on the return. To his right. Cuts in. Gets a good return right there. And will put the Eastern squad in a good position to start maybe their last drive of the day. Gonna have to make it really quick though.
Pretty simple here. They have to score on the first or second play if they want to still have an option on that game. If they're able to score quickly, they can actually do a regular kickoff.
Yep.
Give the ball back to the other team with a minute and 40 seconds left, and then try to get the ball back and potentially at that point go with a short kick.
Hugo Richard looked better in that fourth quarter compared to the second one. But he has 2 picks today and no touchdowns. Handoff. And Embersley right there just fell on the ground. Gonna lose 2 yards.
Sad for the Eastern team because they probably had one of the biggest hole to run the ball today. Their O-line has been struggling, but the running back fell on his own.
So not a bad call there. Try to catch that defense by surprise. And in the end, you lose 2 yards. There's an injured player on the field that will...
The east side got lucky because the clock would have kept running because the ball was on the ground, but that injury stopped the clock, allowed the team or the offense to go back into huddle, and potentially called 2 plays so that they can hurry back to the line if they have success on that next attempt.
So it's Hassan Barry from McMaster. The nose tackle is limping off the field. 2nd and 13 for Richard. 1:52 to go in that game. Deep throw on the right side for Paquet. A bit too long from Richard, and it's going to be 3rd and long.
2 players that played against each other in the 2015 Vanier Cup. Guillaume Paquette from the Carabin number 3, and the number 3 on the other side, William Maxwell from UBC, who was in tight coverage. 2 really fast receivers, 2 really fast players, sorry, and there was nothing there for Paquette.
He's been the primary target for both quarterbacks today.
And with good reason. He has been superb with the Carabin the last 2 years. We have to remind you guys that he started, however, his university career in Sherbrooke with the Valero before transferring for academic reasons.
3rd down, big play for Richard. In the middle. Beautiful catch, but it is dropped. They say incomplete. And that pretty much
seals the deal, man. That was probably the nicest pass Hugo Richard has thrown all day. There was 4 guys, 4 defenders around Michael Nelson, the Bishop's receiver. The pass was perfect, thrown on a dime, but the receiver felt the pressure around him and dropped the ball to, like I said, probably end the game and seal the win for the western side. Sorry.
And it has to be a frustrating day for hometown hero Hugo Richard. Had some ups and downs. Was not able to get into the end zone at the right moments.
And it's not, I guess, fair for him because the thousands of people who were here today, we said there was 6,000 or 7,000, saw him struggle. After hearing so many positive about him, about his progression after that great playoff run, they talked about him as being a newborn leader, a mature player who did really well at their spring camp in Florida, who had a great week of practice, assimilated the playbook well, but today had a really off performance, struggled with some of his passes, didn't make the right decisions.
So a penalty makes it a 1st and 20. They decided to pass that ball. Huge throw and catch. A wonderful play there by the West offense, and it is Etienne Moisan again.
And West team offensive coordinator Ryan Sheehan got a little cocky here. Obviously didn't need that type of play. Faked the jailbreak, faked the receiver screen, and then went vertical on both sides. That was actually not the primary target. The quarterback, as we saw, Noah Picton, bought some time and threw one of the longest passes of the game in a situation where it's pretty much over anyway. But why not? It's an all-star game. Guys work their butts off all week. They want to have a bit of fun.
And there's a crowd. There's a crowd to please. Again, deep throw by Picton, and it is incomplete. Nobody was there anyway.
Et pour faire un résumé de ce match, performance bien plus concluante pour l'équipe de l'Ouest, principalement due à la diversité et la variété du jeu offensif. La ligne à l'attaque a été bien meilleure. La ligne défensive du côté de l'équipe de l'Est était bourrée de talent. Plusieurs joueurs du Québec qui se sont fait malmener, on va dire ainsi. Et puisque le jeu au sol a débloqué, mais le jeu aérien a été soutenu. Noah Picton, le carrière vedette des Rams de Regina, qu'on voit en action en ce moment, a été bien meilleur que ses homologues.
Deep throw for the touchdown. What a catch! Touchdown, Richmond Nekatia.
You want to talk about big plays? Look at that touch on that pass from Picton, but mostly at the adjustment from the receiver. He slowed down as the ball was in the air, realigned his path, and made a superb diving catch. Won't make any difference in the game, but will be such a great memory for him to conclude his 2017 East-West Bowl.
And that completes a wonderful day of action for Noah Picton, who had earlier a rushing touchdown. Now adds up a passing touchdown there. It was a beautiful throw right on the money. Maybe he's the best quarterback today in that East-West Bowl.
I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I think he's a prime candidate for MVP of the game. He won the Eck Creighton last season as the top university football player in the nation. Broke the all-time record for passing yardage with more than 3,100 yards with the Regina Rams, and today added up to his incredible resume with a superb performance here in front of some of the top CFL teams as well as the best coaches from across the country.
Well, there's only a minute and 15 seconds left on the clock. Just time to maybe show a lot of talent there on the Eastern squad because there's nothing to win anyway. The game is pretty much done. Leading by 24 points right here in the 2017 Valero East-West Bowl. The Western team will be crowned champions sooner than later.
What a great experience, let alone the score of today's game. I remember having a wonderful week, not only football-wise, but social-wise. You get to meet the best player from across the nation. You get to hear from some of the top coaches. You learn a ton about football. You learn different terminology, different schemes. You learn who you compete against on a day-to-day basis. And these guys will be together next year at the CFL Eval Camp. Some of those guys will be drafted together, and they will compete again at the next level. this is the beginning of something special for a lot of those young men. And I think, again, being here at Laval for a second time, returning to Laval after a drought of 7 or 8 years, getting to experience some of the best football facility in the nation.
And we didn't name his name today, but Eric Mezzalira on the kick return laid down that huge hit. Richard, quick pass on the right side. It is caught by Vieira. A gain of 5 yards. Vieira on his side is showing a lot of potential, though, Charles-Antoine.
Yeah, one of the top players from the eastern side. We talked about him a bunch because he's versatile, and that's how he played today. We saw him do well in the pass game, in the return game as well. He's small. He's not the most physical player, but he's so dynamic. His change of directions are impressive, and I'm curious to see, even at 5'9" or so, if he can play at the next level.
On 2nd and 5, it's Richard with time. Floats this one really deep. It is dropped. And there's no flag on that play, although it was really close, with Jaden McCoy all over the receiver.
I agree with you. I think like the ref knew the situation, knew the game was pretty much over. In a regular season game, I would have liked to see a flag thrown because the receiver had to go around the defender. He was being held on both sides. But again, all-star games being all-star games, you can't always explain every decision, every calls,
but
or non-calls.
You can always throw a little cookie to the losing team.
Yeah,
You know, it could have helped in a little bit.
Yeah,
Hugo
but
Richard
the
on
refs,
3rd and 5.
they want to go back home.
Totally, you're right. Hugo Richard, 3rd and 5. Under pressure. Rolls on his right. Pump fakes. Gets out of bounds. Real short of the first down. It's going to be a turnover on downs with 30 seconds left.
You know who's played really well? The whole secondary for the Western team. Those DBs have been really, really tight in their coverages. We saw a bunch of pressure on Hugo Richard. The O-line struggle, yes, but when you remove 2 or 3 seconds by covering first, second, and third option of the quarterback, well, that's more time for the pressure to get to Hugo Richard. So that connection between the first and third level of the defense for the West team has been efficient all day.
So Siemens is ready to put his knee on the ground to seal that victory for the Western squad. They have been consistent, and like you said, the battle of trenches have been won by the white jerseys here. 37-13 in that 2017 Valero Est-Ouest Bowl. Tu parlais un peu plus tôt d'un joueur par excellence, Noah Picton, qui a de bonnes chances de l'emporter. Il a un touché au sol, un touché par la voie des airs. Il a été vraiment menaçant. On aurait dit que lui, il a été le carrière qui a réellement profité de cette ligne offensive qui a contrôlé l'allure du match aujourd'hui.
15 en 20, 228 verges, 2 touchés par la voie aérienne, tu l'as mentionné.
Oui, c'est même 2 touchés par la voie aérienne. C'est 3 touchés au total.
Et aucune interception. Au-delà de ses statistiques, c'est sa gestion de match qui m'a impressionné dans des moments importants, en fin de demi, lorsque son équipe ne faisait rien. Et son efficacité et sa capacité à impliquer ses coéquipiers et à distribuer le ballon. On ne peut rien demander de mieux au poste de receveur lorsqu'on est impliqué, qu'on soit à gauche, à droite du carrière, à l'intérieur ou à l'extérieur. On sent vraiment un général en contrôle de son attaque et avec des joueurs qu'il connaissait très peu, a gardé son jeu au niveau qu'il nous a habitués en 2016-2017.
On ne les nomme presque jamais malheureusement, mais ils auront été d'une importance capitale aujourd'hui dans la victoire de l'Ouest. La ligne offensive composée des Lawrence, Chevier, McMillan, Brenner, Cogswara, Sirako, Shepley et Corte. Toute cette ligne offensive qui a permis là, à l'attaque de l'Ouest d'être aussi bonne au sol que par la voie des airs.
Et tu fais bien de mentionner le travail de la ligne à l'attaque et parlant d'acteurs, de soutien ou de personnes qui ont été dans l'ombre. On n'en a pas parlé beaucoup dans le match puisqu'évidemment on voulait valoriser ces joueurs, c'est leur événement, mais il y avait des entraîneurs de haut calibre qui étaient sur les lignes de côté, majoritairement des entraîneurs-chefs d'un côté à l'autre du Canada. Gary Waterman a mené de main de maître l'équipe de l'Ouest. Gary Waterman, qui est l'entraîneur de Saint-FX, a été assisté de ses collègues coordonnateurs, Benoît Groux, qui est avec McGill, et John Veck, coordonnateur défensif. À l'inverse, Wayne Harris, l'entraîneur-chef des Dinos de Calgary, qui a amené son équipe en finale de la Coupe Vanier cette année face aux Rougeards, était l'entraîneur-chef. Ryan Sheehan, qui est son bras droit avec Calgary, était à nouveau en charge de l'attaque. Même chose pour Dwayne Cameron, mais cette fois-ci défensivement.
So for the best players of this day, we have on the red squad, the Eastern team, the kicker Vincent Dubé, 4-4 on his field goal day. Made some booming ones from 24 and 36 yards, and he had a good punt day as well after that hard first quarter. Vincent Dubé qui, encore une fois, il faut montrer un peu d'amour, Charles-Antoine, à ces hommes des unités spéciales. Il aurait été très spécial aujourd'hui, Vincent Dubé, et surtout très précis sur les placements.
Le batteur des Gators de l'Université Bishop, plutôt, qui n'a pas toujours eu facile lorsqu'il se présentait ici à Québec. Mais on en parlait du côté inverse, c'est le joueur du match, Noah Picton, carrière des Rams de Regina, 5 pieds 9 pouces, qui nous a fait penser encore une fois aujourd'hui à un ancien du Rougeur, Benoît Groux. Pas nécessairement le plus grand, mais tellement en contrôle de son livre de jeu et de sa pochette protectrice, a distribué le ballon de main de maître.
Noah Picton is your West MVP, and we can say as well your game MVP, 15 for 20, 228 yards, 2 touchdowns, and add another touchdown on the rushing side of the game. Noah Picton, Énergie Valero MVP, fier de propulser la relève. Charles-Antoine, c'est ce qui met fin à cette présentation du défi Est-Ouest Valero 2017. On a eu droit à une performance un peu en dents de scie du côté de l'Est. Ça s'est replacé, l'Ouest qui a contrôlé le match. Tout de même, la foule qui repart satisfaite du spectacle. On a eu droit à un bon match malgré tout et surtout une belle température. Ça a été une très belle édition de l'équipe.
Tu as raison, et il y a eu beaucoup de gros jeux. Honnêtement, un spectacle, tu l'as mentionné, adéquat, un spectacle qui a été bon du début à la fin. On s'entend que c'est toujours un peu décousu lorsque on présente des matchs hors concours, manque de cohésion.
Surtout au début, surtout dans les premières minutes
tout à fait.
du
Le
match.
premier quart a été difficile, mais au-delà des performances collectives qui sont essentielles, on a eu droit à des performances individuelles intéressantes. Et surtout, on a appris à connaître plusieurs joueurs qui, d'ici 2 ans, peut-être 3, vont gagner leur vie avec leur passion. Donc, c'est la porte d'entrée, le Est-Ouest, vers les rangs professionnels, vers les équipes de la Ligue canadienne de football. Plusieurs avaient quitté aujourd'hui, puisque pour les dépisteurs, ce n'est pas tant le match qui compte que les dernières journées, cette semaine, les tests physiques, d'apprendre à connaître ces jeunes joueurs, d'apprendre à voir leur éthique de travail, leur comportement, mais aussi les voir en situation de compétition, dans des situations 1 contre 1, face à l'équipe adverse, puisque le vrai match a eu lieu de mardi à jeudi. On a eu plusieurs situations compétitives. Aujourd'hui, c'était un peu la récompense. Mais tout ça pour dire que plusieurs noms qu'on a mentionnés aujourd'hui seront mentionnés dans les rangs professionnels dans les prochaines années.
Merci beaucoup, Jean-Antoine, de ta présence.
Ouais.
Merci à vous à la maison d'avoir été des nôtres pour cette édition du défi Est-Ouest Valero 2017. On se dit fort probablement à l'an prochain. La prochaine édition 2018 sera encore une fois ici, au stade TELUS de l'Université Laval. Mon nom est Francis Maheu. Et au nom de toute l'équipe, je vous souhaite de passer une excellente fin de journée. Au revoir.